Hello and welcome. This is Gray Hughes of Gray Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
Huh? It's a house!
There's mosquitoes the size of bald eagles in that dadgum swamp.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? You're on Gray Hughes Investigates. Guess I have to turn it down a little bit. It's kind of loud. Yep, I put out a video. If you didn't see it, maybe go out and watch it. You know, again, it's probably one of the better videos that's going to be made out there. I mean, it seems like I'm the only person that puts together the surveillance footage with the, you know, all the different surveillance footage together. You know, it's like a really important video to people to watch so they know it.
Victory hand emoji.
Hey, thanks, Millennial89. Hey, we've already beat yesterday. All right. Very cool. Yeah, so I thought today what we could do is, you know, the Q&A thing. You know, just start from the beginning. You know, we can do some poll questions and, you know, see what everybody's thinking. And there's just so many these shows out there that are just so, like, just kind of, you know, I mean, I don't know if it's misleading titles or whatever you want to call it, but they claim something and then it's stuff that we've already talked about. It's not new. It's not breaking news. It's not anything. So I haven't really figured out how to, you know, make my own clickbait titles like that, but one of these days I'll figure it out. Yeah, so hey, thanks DM. Yeah, I wish it's only got like 2,500 views. The video I made the other day had 75,000. Hey, look at that. We got Curly Lock Diva became a channel member. I guess we could just start off with all the way back in time. Do you think that Bryan Kohberger? Let me. I gotta make space over here. I guess I need to make this a little bit smaller because I can't really get a poll question. And I guess we can just sort of see what most people think. We've already done. Does anybody believe it's a? He left the knife sheath there as a calling card. I've explained it 100,000 times, and people, you know, don't seem to be able to see that point of view, even though it's just as reasonable as accidentally leaving it there. See, I could see either one. I've only heard some context over the 911 call, which I think could have been released sooner. What do you mean you've only heard some context? Yeah, we went over the, I heard the 911 call before most of the people in the public did, and then we played it on the show and figured out exactly all the words that were said and everything. The 911 call is just kind of how you'd think it would be. You know, people absolutely freaked out that they have a roommate that seems to be unconscious, and I bet you the let's see, Hunter, the friend of Ethan that was there, I bet you his faces and things are why Dylan and Bethany sound so horrified. Because he saw what happened, and then he wouldn't let them see, but that alone was probably enough. So, but they just wanted to believe that she was passed out. Yeah. I don't know. There was not a lot of them at all of him when he was younger. I have no idea. I'm sure the family has a ton of them. You know, in albums and things like that. I don't know. Why are people wanting to see his youthful pictures? Who cares? You know, like, it's just irrelevant. Hello. Why the unconscious person? Yeah, I said that. He was aware that there was an unconscious person. I already said that. Hello. Yep. And if you're in here and you didn't see my video from earlier today, make sure to watch it. And then when you watch it, share the video. I can always tell whenever we do the premiere, if there's only 120 something people watching the premiere, it'll just crash, and that's exactly what this one did for no reason at all. It had all the right keywords in it. I've changed the thumbnail and the title. I'm hoping that maybe somehow that'll make a difference later. We'll see, but it's pretty wild how that works. And I don't know what the secret sauce is when you're putting out a video to, you know, I mean, what I don't understand is why aren't all of you guys like checking every single day for the live streams and videos, and, you know, like everybody out there should know that I put out videos, and just look. It's right there. And it's Xana, Xana, not Zana. That's what the Kohbergers, that's how they type it in. The Pro-burgers. Do we know if Xana had a blanket thrown on her? I don't know. How would we know if she had a blanket thrown on her? Yeah, well, you should have went back and watched it. Yeah, no, it's just, you know. And people always go, Gray, if you didn't complain, your video... No, it has nothing to do with it. If I didn't complain, my videos wouldn't get to be seen more on YouTube. Okay? That isn't how YouTube works. They don't go, well, he was complaining on his live stream, therefore, next video he puts out, make sure that we don't let anybody see it. But that's how it seems to be. It's really strange. I mean, you would think... I'm just telling you the truth here. The videos that I've made on this case, had you been people have been watching it from the beginning, would absolutely have no question about what's going on in this case. Have no question at all if Bryan Kohberger was the killer. Absolutely clear. Every video that I've made has gone through all the information and just proved it. And now people are sort of working through it. Like, now if we could just... What do you mean, man? It's been figured out for a long time. And by the way, you guys, if you're watching the show and you feel like you want to help support the channel, last night we got absolutely crushed. We had the worst night we've ever had on the show. So if, I tried something different, tried to do a different cold case, and, just fell flat on its face. But if you're watching... and you have the ability to, that would be great. Thank you. Yeah, well, Miss Elliott, that's exactly what you are. Have you ever looked in the mirror, Miss Elliott? I bet you every time you look in the mirror, you see a-hole right back at your face. As a matter of fact, your face looks like an a-hole. Wow. Unbelievable. Let's see. Hey, thanks, Zachary. Claims that BK's car potentially spotted on MPD's body cam during 8/16/22. Claims that BK's car potentially spotted on body cam. Noise complaint. I don't believe that. Yeah, I think that's totally bogus. I think the person just wanted to get you know, it's not true that the body camera. It was a female that called in the. Yeah, you missed what they typed in. They said the secret sauce is not being an a-hole. They said. So I'll go ahead and say it right back to their face. I just don't care. I have no patience for these idiots that show up. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think that's true at all. Females who called in the noise complaint. I mean, anything's possible, but there isn't a white Elantra in that back parking lot filmed through the reflection of the mirror. And if it is, there's no way to know that that's what it is. Okay, absolutely impossible with the amount of the visibility that was on that camera. There's no way to be able to tell. Yeah. And what was the other one? If the investigators knew Bryan was Papa Rogers, why would they have used his... Why wouldn't... Well, who said they weren't going to use it in court, Millennial? Who said they weren't going to use that? Who Gray was insulting. I wasn't insulting. That was just an absolute reply comeback to their idiotic comment. Yeah. And that's what you get back, you know. Hey, Chick Bait, how's it going? And let's see if we can get some gifted channel memberships tonight, you guys. That might be pretty cool. We do not have 699 people watching right now. There's no chance. Like we might have 200. Hard to say. Can you please turn the emojis off? Well, sure. If you send in a super chat, we'll get that going. I'm just kidding. I'll turn it off. I hate that. The live reactions. There we go. Hey, Grand Freaks. Hope everyone is well. Yep. There we go. There's Curly Lock Diva. Gifted a membership. All right. Does everybody... let's see. Do you guys think that Kohberger moved from from Pennsylvania to Washington, specifically picked that Washington because that's what Ted Bundy did when he moved. He moved from Pennsylvania to Washington. I mean, he could have picked anywhere. But do you think that he specifically chose that for that reason? Thanks, Deidre Gamble. Maybe I should do poll questions on those. Did Kohberger... I think he did. Specifically move to, you know... I should have a question mark at the end, but forgot to put it. Thank you, Deidre Gambrel. Yeah, no, I think he absolutely... I picture Kohberger differently than... You know, a lot of the psychoanalysts out there that go through with their little, now let's, you know, with the little faces that they got on. I think Kohberger is a guy that, you know, sort of like a strange type of an incel where he could have actually been with women. He just wasn't able to be with the one that he thought was perfect. That's what Kohberger's problem was. Elliot Rodger just couldn't be with anybody. Kohberger could have been. He just, you know, he wanted to be with what he thought was the classic person. But anyways, he was in the school and the criminology program, and he started studying, you know, underneath Ramslin, the serial killer. I don't know if she's an expert on serial killers, but she's an expert on BTK and maybe somebody else. And she's just, and he's just like, yeah, this is so cool, man. And he's like learning about it, and he learns about all the different things serial killers do. And he wanted to be a really cool serial killer, you know, because he hates people and he doesn't have any. He has zero. What do you call it? Like emotions. Like he doesn't feel anything at all. Okay, he just wants to do what he wants to do. And so he went there and planned it all out. And yeah, empathy was what I was looking for. Yeah, lack of empathy. Yeah, he just goes over there and he chose the house and he fixated on Madison Mogen. And sure, her friends are pretty too, but I think that's the one he focused on because she looks exactly like the classic college girl, or whatever you want to, how you want to refer to it, as him thinking, oh, that's perfect. That's my idealistic person. You know, so that was his target. And that's why I think he left the knife sheath as a calling card, because he wanted to do all the cool things that serial killers did. That's why I think he left the knife sheath on intentionally on the bed, and he even tucked it underneath the quilt a little bit. And he just thought he was so great. He studied about it, how not to do anything, and he did everything so perfectly. He just didn't clean that sheath well enough. He thought he was so careful, but he missed the little spot on the underside of the button snap. All right. Anyways, I just think he's... And I think he was going to go on to kill other people. And we know that because when he got back home, he did his thumbs up sign. But hey, you guys, let's see if we can do a little bit better than last night. All right. So if you guys are out there watching, if you could please help support the channel. My channel relies on the generosity of the people watching to make it. There is no ad revenue hardly at all on these live streams. And you guys are it. All right. And, I do make ad revenue on videos that I make to try to augment the absolute slowdown on the live streams. I used to only do live streams and maybe a video here and there, but now I have to make videos all the time. And when the videos do poorly, the channel really suffers. When on the show at the same time, it suffers as well. So this is one of those nights. Yesterday, we set an all-time record low for some reason. No explanation at all. And today we are doing a show, and I'm hoping to get back to normal again. So if you're out there, if you could please help, that would be awesome. And at the end of the month, we generally give away thousands of dollars to true crime-related charities, hoping to be able to continue to do that as well. We've given $251,000 away since January of 2020. Hey, do we think they're going to make him say where the murder weapon and bloody... Do we think they're going to make him say where the murder weapon and bloody opened are? Opened. I don't know what that means. As a requirement of the plea. Well, that's what I think. I think Bill Thompson basically, when he said he didn't want the gag order lifted, he wanted to make sure he had all the information. And I think that was part of a deal, but I think it's already been signed. So if Kohberger then goes, hey, screw you, I'm not doing it. I don't know if you can, if there's a way out of that, if there's like a secondary thing that they signed on the side, and this is like the show signing part. Right, he's overweight in high school. Yeah, I mean, we've all known that for a long time. The bully, whatever, that's been since the beginning. When you say you read that, it's been talked about like for so long. It's almost unbelievable. I don't know how to... Well, that sales pitch didn't work. Yeah, I think that I tell you what, if Bill Thompson did not make it part of, like, okay, we'll sign this now, but in the following weeks, we're going to sit down and you're going to tell us everything that happened, and you're going to show us where you threw, where the knife sheath is, and if you threw it in the water, where you put it. Okay? And make that part of it. And if he didn't do that, then he's an idiot. Okay? That means he's actually a cruel person as well. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, you're talking about the losing the weight part, Laura Stone. Yeah, I mean, I think you know, I don't know. I mean, losing. I don't know what would have made him. Maybe the veganism is what made him a nut job. Right. I guess that's what it is, Laura Stone. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, yeah, apparently he was bullied because he was a little overweight. But I think he was bullied for him, not because he was overweight. I think it was bullied because of the way he is. He's off. He's a little bit like Adam Lanza. You know, not to say that that's correct or anything, but yeah. And I'll just tell you though, I mean, if Bill Thompson did not make sure that he had all the information from Bryan Kohberger and that he was told where the weapon was, then he's an absolute fool. Like, he should be ashamed of himself, embarrassed, because all those things right there are what ensure that the family gets to have answers, and in the future, Kohberger has zero chance of getting out because he's the one that knew where the weapon was. Okay, that's it. And if he didn't do that, then I have absolutely no respect for him at all as a person or a prosecutor. Although, you know, I have faith that he did do that, though. You know, I have faith that he did go out and that he made sure, and that's what he was talking about in the hearing. All right, guys, we're still only at 2 memberships and still 1/10 of the nightly goal. Hope there's a deep dive interview with him before they sign it off. Well, yeah, I think I don't know if you guys have you ever seen Israel Keys when he was, after he confessed, basically they sat down and they interviewed him. I'm hoping it's something similar to that. You know, with multiple investigators, maybe even an FBI agent, and they sit in there and they get all the information. But I would have done it like, I would have said, this is what we're going to do, Bryan. We will accept your plea, but we're going to sit down and you're going to tell us every single thing that you know. And if there's at any point where there's something that you say that we know is untrue based on forensics, the deal's off. All right? And so let's get started, Bryan. Boom, boom, boom. You know, go through the whole thing. And if it all makes sense, you know, I think when somebody tells you a story, you kind of just know when it makes sense. Especially if you're one of the investigators. Well, it would be case closed if they knew more, Jim. That doesn't make any sense what you're saying. He needs to get answers for the family. Just that little story that they told isn't an answer of anything. It's just an outline of what happened. So it doesn't give any answers, doesn't talk about precisely what he was doing that night. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on, Paulette. It's just really... people just aren't willing to help support the channel anymore, I guess. Must have had a banned word in it. Yeah, there's words that are banned by YouTube, and I have banned words that I've put in as well, so you might not be able to say some various things. Why would he have to prove himself to earn a guilty plea? Yeah, no, what are you talking about, Darren? That's one of the dumbest things I've ever seen written in my entire life. I'm not. Nobody ever said anything about any. Well, I mean, it's just crazy. Why do they have to prove himself? Who cares what he has to prove? That's ridiculous. What a dumb comment. Who cares if he shouldn't have to do something? All they should say, Bryan, you tell us what happened, tell us where the knife is, and we'll do a deal. And that's it. So I don't care if he shouldn't have to do something. He should do something. He should have been forced to do that. It's obvious. I mean, I don't even know what the hell any other thought process is on that. I don't care if you're an attorney that says, oh, that's just not the way we do it, Gray. You see, what we do is... Okay, I don't give two shits. The judge and, well, not the prosecutor had a lot of power there, and he just, he may have used it. We don't know yet. All right? And maybe they didn't want to go out and start telling their version of the story and the different stuff that they had without actually talking to Kohberger and getting the real story first. You know what I mean? Because it really... In a way, I mean, today there was multiple filings of people that want the gag order lifted immediately. I don't know if you guys saw that or not, but the... let's see. Here's one right here. Wow, it's so bright. Oh, Jesus, what happened to my screen? Not sure what happened. I lost my StreamYard stream picture. Is it here? Hopefully I'm still on. I don't know. Oh, maybe it's here. There we go. They say stuff like, according to a coalition of media organizations, including American broadcasting companies, actually there's a better one than that. That wasn't one of the good ones. It was like this one. I mean, they kind of go through and talk about it. Mr. Kohberger's rights to a fair trial. That's all done now. He's pled guilty. And there's no appeal options. So I totally agree with the media. In this case, why was there a delay? Shouldn't it have been immediately the gag order lifted after he pled guilty? Why does the prosecutor need time to do something? That's what I'm saying. Is I think that they don't want to put out stuff that isn't actually the reality after they ask him. So when they interview him, it'll change some of the stuff that they will say out there, and they want to have that information first instead of just, okay, it's open, and then we get to read what their theory was, and then it doesn't really match. I mean, we'll get to see that anyways, but they probably want to come out and know the information first. I think what the prosecution should do in this case is put out a PDF file and with supporting videos or whatever they want to do in order of the whole case, and put on a presentation, if you will, at some sort of a hearing, and it has all the information in it. And then maybe even well, you know what? Here's what I think sucks is, let's say they did that and they allowed some media people to come in and ask questions. They would ask the dumbest questions on the face of the earth. What you need are people in there that have dug in and know the minutia detail and the things that actually matter. Not the 40,000-foot questions that maybe a Brian Enton would ask. I'm talking about the big time, get in there and know specific things and have the answers. And I understand why the media does that out there. They cover so many cases, they don't have time to get really deep into a case and, know it well. They just kind of, willy-nilly sort of flow through, oh, yeah, hey. Anything that's really kind of shocking or sensationalistic. They'll quickly talk about it, but they really don't know the questions to ask. And you see it all the time. I mean, even when I'm on some of these shows myself, you know, the kind of the area that we're at is a place that I mean, like if I could just switch to a screen and show stuff on a map, society would have had so much of a better understanding of everything every single time that I was on Court TV or these other channels. They just don't allow you to do it. I mean, it's bizarre. It's like, hey, you know, let me switch over to my screen here. I got this map here. I'll show you the whole thing. And then you're just left to sort of talk about it, and people just kind of don't even, you know, oh, okay, so he drove around. Yeah, what does that mean? People don't understand. Thank you, Richard Watts. Oh, wait, that was that one. Right there. There's Richard Watts. Thank you. You want me to read this one really quick? This is just one of them. On July 2nd, 2025, Bryan Kohberger pled guilty to the murders of 4 University of Idaho students and 1 count of burglary. Mr. Kohberger's plea sharply changed the Sixth Amendment fair trial First Amendment balance in this case. Mr. Kohberger will never face a jury to determine his guilt, nor will a jury... God, that's so small. I feel like I need a magnifying glass. There we go. Will never face a jury to determine his guilt, nor will a jury have any role in determining whether the death penalty is the proper punishment. All that remains is the court, not a jury, to impose a sentence. But even then, the parties have waived pre-sentence investigation, and Mr. Kohberger has agreed that he will not argue for anything less than consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole. Even before Mr. Kohberger was arrested, the court entered and has enforced a... Let me switch over to a different screen. How come that one looks like that? Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, I gotta... Let's see, share screen, entire screen. That's the one I needed, not that window. All right, there we go. Now you can see it. But while I'm reading this, guys, if we can somehow make a dent in trying to support the channel tonight, I would appreciate it. Had a really poorly performing video today, and yesterday's show was a complete disaster bomb, and we need to try to get back on pace. Even Mr. Kohberger, even before Mr. Kohberger was arrested, the court entered and has enforced a non-dissemination order restricting the individuals involved with the case from making extrajudicial statements. See Declaration of Wendy Olson in support of motion to be heard as interest parties. These non-dissemination orders have been predicated on a singular justification: preservation of Mr. Kohberger's right to a fair trial. Olson, and then it says, Mr. Kohberger's change of plea and the terms of the plea agreement have rendered that justification moot. In the absence of this justification, the non-dissemination order infringement on the First Amendment is, impermissible. Indeed, at the conclusion of the plea hearing, the state said only that it opposed the court's suggestion to discontinue the order because it would be easier for the parties in preparing for sentencing. This cannot justify the continued imposition on free speech. The non-dissemination order is now plainly overbroad and therefore runs afoul of the First Amendment. According to the Media Coalition, respectfully requests that this court vacate the non-dissemination order immediately. And it says the non-dissemination order should be vacated immediately because its sole justification no longer exists. I mean, that's hard to argue with that. For the non-dissemination order to be valid, it must serve a legitimate government purpose. A non-dissemination order that is vague, overbroad, unduly restrictive, or not narrowly drawn is an unconstitutional obstacle to news gathering. By its own terms, the need for the non-dissemination order is moot. The non-dissemination order provides a singular justification for restriction. Mr. Kohberger has pled guilty. He has waived his right to an appeal. Thus, there is no possible set of circumstances under which Mr. Kohberger will ever face a jury to determine his guilt or to determine whether the death penalty should be imposed. No trial will occur. Thus, there is no need to preserve Mr. Kohberger's right to a fair trial because he has already admitted guilt. Moreover, the effects of the non-dissemination order are more than collateral on the media coalition, First Amendment rights. Non-dissemination orders strip journalists of a crucial tool for informing the public and exercising their First Amendment rights. Declaration of Rebecca Boone in support of motion to be heard as in... whatever, they're just going through some other crap now. But I just think there's no... And right here it says there's no legitimate justifications for continuing enforcement of the non-dissemination order. Yeah, I mean, I guess it just comes down to, that sounds right. It's, why is there still a non-dissemination order when he can't be affected by it at all? It's almost like, I don't know. I mean, maybe, I wonder if they're, this is what I hope that they're doing. That they're getting all the information, and then they're going to sit down with the family members and tell them everything that they know and what Kohberger said, and then allow them to talk at the hearing if they want to. The sentencing. Thanks, Michelle H. She's trying for a wave. I don't know why when I say, hey, everybody, we need to get moving, it has no effect on anybody anymore. My channel relies on you guys, and it just feels like we're kind of lost that symbiotic relationship where I do the shows, you guys support the channel. It's just me do the shows. I believe that if Bill Thompson hadn't already interviewed Bryan Kohberger for details, there won't be any given. There were no condition on the signed plea. Yeah, there could have been something said before that, though. Yeah. Yeah, so maybe he just wanted to sit with the families, and maybe, this could be the reality of it. Is before they signed it, they interviewed Kohberger. Like the day before that, they sat down, they interviewed him, and then they signed it, and so they've already. Then that's why they did that, because they got all that information. But I mean, we don't know because he hasn't said anything. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so what? OJ never paid any civil money. Hey, thanks, Curly Lock Diva. Somebody's helping. Thank you. Man, you guys knew all the stuff we're supposed to be doing. I mean, we got other cases we're supposed to fund in the DNA world. We've got the scholarship fund. We've got the... And we're just in this... I don't know, man. What happened? Gonzalez's family was mad. They emailed them about the plea. Other families didn't seem to mind. I don't get it. Well, I mean, I guess apparently they communicated with other families. And I think, I would be more like how Gonzalez thinks. I think I would want it. I want the answers, and I want them to go for the death penalty. However, there was a couple other family members that didn't want that. Other families. I think it was wasn't it Ethan Ethan Chapin and Madison Mogen. Those families, they didn't really want that. And so was it fair to force them for 30 years to have to go to all the different hearings, etc., just for just to get the death penalty, and, to see it through, And here's the thing. Here's something that a lot of people, I've brought up on my show many times, but they don't bring it up on the other ones. And this is it right here. So even if he was found guilty, right? Hey, thanks, Carol. I'm not sure to pronounce that. Dumris and Jason Eaton. So let's say he was found guilty, right? And everybody would be like, yes! And then they get to the penalty phase, and there was a couple of people that were like, I think he's got some mental things. I just don't feel comfortable giving him the death penalty. Well, then what would his sentence be then? The sentence would be probably the same consecutive life sentences for all 5 charges. All that would have happened. But guess what? He'd be entitled to appeal after appeal after appeal after appeal, and just, endlessly. This is equivalent to being, he was found guilty, and the jury wasn't able to give him the death penalty. However, the judge stepped in and said, you can never have an appeal. He can't do that, but you can never have an appeal. See what I'm saying? So they got like the second worst thing that you could possibly get. You have the death penalty, and then you've got, life without parole without ever being able to appeal. I mean, that's about as bad as you can get right there. So, I mean, in terms of a deal, it's a pretty strong deal. But if you just I just want to get him executed, well, what if it didn't happen? What if he wasn't given the death penalty? Then all of a sudden, he's going to have appeal after appeal after appeal after he was guilty. And then there's also the chance that somebody would be a hung jury, especially if these nut job Kohberger types got on there. They still linger in these groups saying, somebody in my last video just told me that wasn't the right model vehicle that was driving around. I mean, these people are crazy. They are lunatics. All right? It is his white Elantra driving around. There is no doubt. There isn't a shred of doubt. I know that you think it's a lime green Elantra, but it's not green. It is an Elantra. And it's Bryan Kohberger's. I'll tell you what. I'll agree with you that it was lime green if Kohberger admits that night before he left, he spray painted his car lime green. All right, I will agree with you at that point. Although it doesn't match the surveillance footage on Ridge Road. That is a white car, and we know that's a color camera because the taillights are red. Mm-hmm. Right, and it would just be languishing around. Here's what I think. I think if somebody gets the death penalty, and all the years you have to wait, the feeling that the families have in waiting for the death penalty, and I'm talking about the victims' families, is similar to a missing child. Where you're just sort of waiting and waiting and waiting, and you're just waiting, and maybe they'll get another. And you're just waiting, and I totally see the side of the Mogans and Ethan, and they need to, they're never going to forget their child or anything. They just need to get on to the next chapter of life. There's no such thing. When people say closure, they're fools, okay? There's absolutely no such thing as closure whatsoever. That's just a stupid term that somebody invented someday, and every police officer would actually tell you the same thing. There is no closure in these cases. The crime here is that the prosecution probably gave him the plea deal without getting the story. Well, that's what I said a minute ago. I've already said that. Fresh off the boat. You must be absolutely fresh off the boat if you missed that. I said it like 10 minutes ago. That the prosecutor, Bill Thompson, if he did not secure a full accounting recorded on audio from Kohberger himself, and also a description of where he put the knife, then he's an idiot. Okay? That means he's an absolutely stupid person. And cruel as hell. That means he didn't get the answers for the family that they deserved. And I don't care. He's like, I'm just protecting them. They shouldn't have to see. Yeah, we all know that, Bill. We all know that they shouldn't have to have seen this thing. But this is what life gave them. They want to have the answers in this case. And if you didn't get them the full, true answers, then, Bill, you're a loser. Okay? And you're a shitty person. However, I have faith that you did get that information, and therefore you're not what I would call you if you didn't get that. Okay? I have faith that you were out there and you got that information. Yeah, you know what Bill Thompson is? He's the district attorney equivalent of judge. It's like, those guys are like two peas in a pod, man. What you wanted was a hard ass on that prosecution team, not a Bill Thompson. If you were for the death penalty, all right. I know. What else was Judge ever going to be? You know what I mean? I'm surprised what his first name. I don't even know what the hell his first name is. Maybe his first name is Judge. Judge. I want him to have to face Steve. Yeah. Also said she had reviewed all the discovery almost in a day. When did she say that? She never said that. She said she's never had time to review it. But I've said, I think from the beginning, Ann Taylor saw the writing on the wall in this case. And she knew that her client was absolutely guilty and she would not be able to, like I always tell you guys, there's no reasonable doubt. Like, here's what I want. It's as simple as this. I'll say it again for people that aren't here, is that you've got, so there's this white Elantra driving around, and one of the cameras proves that it's missing a front license plate, and it's a 2014 to 2016 white Elantra. They already have all that information. And then they have this knife sheath that they found up in Madison Mogen's room. Then they test the knife sheath, and they find a DNA sample, a single source of DNA on the underside of the button snap of the K-bar knife sheath. That was on the bed of Madison Mogen. And then they use forensic genetic genealogy after CODIS didn't work. And Othram Labs wasn't going fast enough, so the FBI took over from where they left off and used some sort of, techniques that weren't, it was against the guidelines on the website. And then they developed a name, Bryan Kohberger, gave the tip of the name Bryan Kohberger to law enforcement, and then it was up to them to investigate and see if this guy could possibly be the person. And they already knew that Dill Mortensen said the guy was a little over 5'10", he was athletically built, had bushy eyebrows. So, then they go back and find that two of the officers had looked and found a Bryan Kohberger's vehicle in late November. They just and saw it, and then they looked at his driver's license, and by God, he has bushy eyebrows. Not those officers, but later on they looked at it, and he had, I think they did say he had bushy eyebrows, but because Dylan Mortensen had already said that. And then, I kind of went off in a different area there, but they came up with the name Bryan Kohberger, and they investigated him, And then it turns out they're like, oh my God, he drives a white Elantra. Oh, and it's missing a front plate. Now he became extremely interesting. Not only that, because there was DNA on the knife sheath. So then they track him all the way to Pennsylvania, and when they get to Pennsylvania, they they monitor. They see him he's cleaning his car all the time, doing all these different things, and they collect the trash at the house, and it turns out that the trash that they got was a DNA match to the biological father of the contributor to the DNA on the underside of the button snap. And so that was enough to arrest Bryan Kohberger. And then after they arrested him in the kitchen, sorting the trash out, wearing surgical gloves, and then he would normally on various nights throw the trash into the neighbor's garbage can. So that's why they weren't able to find his DNA in the trash pull that they got. But they found the father of the contributor, and it turns out that the father's son is Bryan Kohberger. Right? So then, that after they, arrested Kohberger, they swabbed his cheek and compared his DNA to the sample on the underside of the button snap, and it was a 1-to-1 perfect match. 1 in 6 point something octillion to 1 that some other person randomly touched that. All right, so then, since you know that so after they would go through all of this in trial, they would have said, all right, so, we know for certain that this knife sheath was handled by Bryan Kohberger. There was a white Elantra outside that parked between, it came around the corner at 4:07 and 47 seconds. As we explained earlier, they would say, and the headlights hit the top of 1127, likely parked around 4:08. And then we see the vehicle driving away at a high rate of speed at 4:20 and 47 seconds. And we know because of Xana Kernodle's was it TikTok? Or what was she on? TikTok? That it was on no, it wasn't TikTok, was it? It was Instagram or something, right? She was on Instagram. Well, I don't think it was Instagram. What the hell was she on now? That just didn't pop into my head quick. She was on, one of those social media sites. But she was on there at 4:12. And that means they were alive at 4:12. And then based on Dylan Mortensen, this is when everything was going down. And then the car left at a high rate of Snapchat. There you go. Okay, it was driving away at a high rate of speed at 4:20 and 47 seconds. So that means inside of that time that the white Elantra was parked outside, all 4 victims were killed, and the killer left the knife sheath on the bed, and that was Bryan Kohberger, who owns a white Elantra. So it's not reasonable for any of you to believe that the white Elantra that was outside wasn't his, since his DNA was left on the knife sheath during that 13-minute time frame. And then we find out that he actually purchased the exact same make and model of the K-Bar knife sheath back in March of 2022, the same year as the homicides, just a few months before he went to Pullman, Washington. And in January of the same year, from Dick's Sporting Goods, he purchased the balaclava. And these are all things. Dylan Mortensen witnessed the balaclava. And, when you put all that together, it's just absolutely isn't even, it's not even reasonable just with the Elantra and the DNA on the knife sheath. It's unreasonable to believe it's anybody other than him. That's why when we went over the probable cause document 2 years ago, I have said nothing since other than Bryan Kohberger is the killer. All right, if you've been on my show for all that time, there's never been any wavering. There's been nothing other than he is the killer. It's absolutely a fact. There is no doubt whatsoever. I've said over and over and over again. Put a 1 if you've heard me say that like 1,000 times. Thank you, wise child. Yeah. Yeah. And so I've been saying it for a long time. I'm not wishy-washy like some of the other people, like, wow, that's interesting. There's never been anything interesting at all that's pointed to Kohberger not being the killer. Okay? Now people want to go, well, what about the blood that was Well, they didn't. I mean, okay, maybe they didn't test the blood, but what does that have to do with Kohberger not being there? Okay? Now, he might say, okay, there was somebody else. And I go, oh, wow, that's crazy. There was somebody else with him. But he was there. Kohberger is absolutely, I'm not sure what's going on with my camera over here, but he's absolutely the single killer in this case, in my opinion. He's by himself. There is no evidence at all that there was anybody else with him there, despite a YouTuber planting a glove on the ground that wasn't even there. At the time, I mean, on other shots that's out there. There's a channel that actually made some videos on that. But anyways, the glove outside had nothing to do with anything. Anyways, it's irrelevant to the case. All right, so because of that incredible rendition right there, if you guys could please help support the channel tonight. We're struggling again. We're currently at 1/4 of the nightly goal. We only got 2 channel memberships. There's Mindy right there. Thank you very much, Mindy. Very cool. But anyways, so do you guys think that Kohberger was planning when he was going to go to Pullman, that he already knew before even going to Pullman that he was going to kill somebody? Because I absolutely do. That's why I bought the K-bar knife and the balaclava. But let me do a poll on this one. All right, there you go. There you go. There you go right there. Yeah, that's what I think. I mean, how could he have not? Like, he didn't buy the K-bar knife just to, like, protection and a balaclava, you know? I think that shows you the troll count number. There's no logical explanation of why he would bought that stuff anyways or something. Hey, thanks, Lollipop. Yeah, it is a troll count number. You can always tell the percent. So whatever the vote is, when there's something really logical, like if you said, is 1 + 1 2, 25% will say no, and those are the trolls. They're just here to cause havoc. Oh yeah, sure they did, Babs. Yeah. Yeah, we know who the planter was. Yeah, 100%. Let's see. I mean, that's the same person that claimed that there was... you guys remember the Gabby Petito, Brian Laundrie case? The same person who claimed that they found a glove there was telling people that this guy on Twitter was Brian Laundrie the whole time. And then even after they found the bones of Brian Laundrie, he kept telling people that that was who that was. And there were people threatening that person. And I mean, it was crazy. All right. So, you guys can do whatever you want. I can't ever forget what that person did to that person. It was horrendous. All right. Been charged with some other violent crime. Who? Huh? Yeah, it was pretty interesting, that part where he talked about how he cleaned it from, he almost took it apart. All right, so we got at least 25 trolls watching in here. I know, I already told you when the knife was purchased in late March, yeah. Yeah, we already got all that. Let's see. Bryan Kohberger was asked if he was guilty of each crime. But Zachary also says that he was also accepted into WSU doctoral program in March of 2022. Yeah, I wonder where else he applied. Did he just try to get into that one? I just like to drive in and discuss the entire timeline, but accept BK's plea. What do you mean, but? So you are a pro-burger then, Chickbait? Is that what you're claiming? You said, I mean, look at this. I just like to dive in and discuss the entire timeline, but I accept BK's plea deal, unlike some other pro-burgers. But I've come a long way trying to explain my stance. Well, you don't have a stance, okay? Yeah, there isn't one. There's no stance for pro-burgers. I always say if at some point, if you haven't been able to figure it out, then you're just dumb. I mean, that's all there is. Let's see. So when he went to the pool party, what did he come up with there? That's a... See, here's the thing, Chickbait. People think they're so cool and intellectual when they say, well, the letter law, they're innocent until proven guilty. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, everybody knows that. Okay? But I'm not on a jury, nor am I in court, so, or an attorney or anything like that. And I believed, without a doubt, for 2 years, as soon as we got the probable cause document and meticulously went through it, he had no out. He was the killer. But other people didn't want to see it that way because they didn't want to. It makes it way more fun and interesting if you go out there and pretend all these other things are happening. Now, all the people that always say, it's innocent until proven guilty, Gray. You guys are the same losers that go out there and when it's a different case, you say the same thing that I'm saying. You know, when for example, OJ, you probably went, oh my God, and Top Mom, oh, she did it. But when it wasn't one that you want to believe in, you pretend that you're so high and mighty and have this moral superiority. Hey, thanks, Mindy. Let's see. You ever notice that? All the people that run around going, you're innocent until proven guilty, Gray. Did you see that? I mean, how can you sit there and say, you know, and I'd say, well, Kohberger's a killer, you know? And they go, well, you can't say he's a killer. He's innocent until proven guilty, Gray. And I go, no, but he is. It's absolutely for certain. He's the killer. There's no doubt about it. You can say whatever you want. And then they say that I can't say it, but then every case out there that they've watched before, you know that every single person in existence said that Casey Anthony, which, you know, obviously she killed her kid, and OJ, right? I mean, who didn't say OJ killed her? Everybody knows that. It was jury nullification in that case. And you'd have to be a fool to say OJ didn't kill his wife. Or ex-wife. I'm not even sure if they were still married, Nicole Brown Simpson. Yeah, I mean, I could see right at the beginning, but that wasn't only the knife sheath, though, Julie. Isn't that interesting? So when the probable cause document came out, it had everything in it. It had the knife sheath and how, you know, forensic genealogy led to the name Bryan Kohberger, and they went through the whole thing. And then even in the same document, it talked about how White Elantra drove into the area and did 3 different passes. I mean, by now we have it where, like the video that I put out today, unfortunately a lot of you watching didn't even see the damn thing. It really goes through every single one of the passes, and it's crystal clear. Everything. And we have 0 coffees tonight also. What's going on, you guys? I mean, what's happening with the support for the channel? It just seems to have completely, just poof, on the drop of a dime. I'm still doing the same hard work that I do all the time. And let's see. You are, Babs, but a lot of people just don't feel like it. You know what I mean? Let's see. My daughter's birthday is this month, so I'm short. Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've been doing this for years and years and years, and it's just kind of, all of a sudden, it's last 2 days have just been horrendous. I'm not sure what happened. And I wish my videos would do better, because it would completely change. I wouldn't even care, but they're not, so. To the sliding doors, and Xana met him outside the bedroom like you had figured. Yeah, but that Bill Thompson said something different, Joe. Bill Thompson said something like, what did he say? That, like, they met at the bottom of the stairs, or when he was leaving. He didn't mention... now, he could have been leaving Madison's room, but he didn't say that specifically. So I don't know. Galvanized for Carmelo Anthony. What does that even mean, Jeepers? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, they like all the channels that have all the media backing behind them. Like all the new ones that pop up. Now you've got people from Law and Crime having their own YouTube channels, and then those guys help them, and it's just sort of like the rest of us are just, it's sort of like having a bookstore, and then Barnes and Nobles opens up next door to you. It's hard. So that's why I need your guys' support. And when I'm saying that, any amount is okay. Like if 200 people did $1, we'd reach the goal tonight. You know what I mean? That's the thing. It's not like, nobody ever does that. I mean, 10 people will do the $1, and then we're not going to make it. Usually your dogs sleep in the same room as you, so how do we know the dog didn't run out when BK opened the door to met? I mean, who cares, Joe? I mean, I don't care about the Murphy questions or, Dylan or Bethany. It's just, it gets so old after a while. Kohberger's the killer. However the dog meandered around, we don't know. Maybe the dog went out on its own deck up on through her sliding glass door. Murphy. Hey, thanks, Babs22. See, look at that. We're surveillance cameras and cell phones. We have no coffees whatsoever, though, so let's try to get some of those in. If Bryan Kohberger was chasing Xana down the stairs, I'm pretty sure Dylan would have heard people running past her door. Well, didn't she? She said she thought one of the roommates ran past her door. It's, I don't know, Babs. It's whatever you want it to be. I know, but it doesn't matter, though, right, Joe? You know what I mean? Like, just... See, here's the way, when I do true crime, you guys don't have to be like me, but I don't waste time on things that I know aren't really, they don't help solve something, they're not part of, like if you don't, I knew immediately that Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funk had nothing to do with anything. And the media actually put out the story incorrectly to make it seem like, because early on, I think they said, or maybe it was the press conferences, they didn't say it right. But the information's been out there in different articles that, the phone, I think it was Bethany's phone, and Bethany was on it first, and then Dylan was on the phone, then the roommate. They said out there, oh my God, the roommate got on there first. How come the girls didn't get on the phone? No, they were first. They're the first two to speak on there. Thanks, Jim Lawn. And here we go. Let me get your little sound effect. If I still have it. There it is.
1.21 gigawatts. What the hell is a gigawatt?
What the hell is a gigawatt? Yeah, the whole dog thing is, I mean, why doesn't it have blood on it? Ooh, that's a big part of the story. Ooh, how? How is that a big part of the story? Murphy ran outside after, or whatever. Yeah, we don't know what Murphy did. They said that they did tests and they thought that the dog was outside when it was barking. But, what does that mean? It could have been out on Kaylee's deck. It's just not relevant. It's sort of, it doesn't help prove or disprove what happened. Yeah, he's a basketball player. I just don't know what that has to do with OJ, Hey, we got a coffee from Lisa Valenzuela and Mallory Beavers. Thank you. Hey, we're at 38% now of a goal. I think Kaylee left Murphy in her room when she went into Maddie's room, thinking he'd be okay, probably sleeping. Okay, but who cares? You know what I mean? Let's see. Somewhere I saw that you thought, at the very beginning, I'm sure you're watching on where we get a troll channel, Caligal, or seem like you like to follow those guys a lot. I always wonder what you are. I thought that until he was cleared. Yeah, everybody thought that. Even the Gonzalez's said that law enforcement was looking into Jack. Okay? But they didn't say his name. They said he was looking into Kaylee's boyfriend. And I made a video opining on that, but never used his name. Just said Kaylee's boyfriend, because I didn't even know his name at the time. And then a few days later, they finally cleared him, so I just removed the video, because it's not relevant anymore. But there was, it was interesting. You got this guy that's not answering the calls, like he's angry at something. I mean, I thought it was something like maybe the boyfriend was angry and they're trying to get a hold of him because he was so angry, and then he comes back later and, maybe she broke up with him and all these different scenarios, and it kind of made sense, but, law enforcement was looking into him. And Steve Gonzalez even said that. Yeah, right, and he even made him lift his shirt, right. No, you said you read somewhere. Pfft, whatever. Jesus. Yeah, I don't have any problem admitting that I thought that at one point. But I didn't use his name either when I made the video. I made it like in the first week, I think. Yeah, just as soon as I found out that it wasn't legitimate, you don't want to put it out there. It was just a theory, too. I worded it like, is it possible that this is going on?
Anthony, who killed the kid at the Texas track meet. It's the next big case. Sorry, I didn't mean to go off topic.
It's a different Carmelo Anthony who killed the kid at the Texas track meet. I don't know if it's the next big anything. I don't know. Let's see. I wonder if Kohberger decided, but thanks, Jeepers. I wonder if Kohberger decided to go into stab mode as a result of the grub truck video. No. That doesn't make any sense, Farrah. That doesn't make any sense. I wonder if Kohberger decided to go into stab mode as a result of the grub truck video. So he was sitting around watching the grub truck and saw him and went, ooh, I'm going to go do it. Come on. Jesus. Hey, thanks, Chickbait. Yeah, everybody's just wondering at the beginning, you know. I think a lot of people were wondering if the, you know, boyfriend or, you know, maybe had something to do with something at the beginning because just, I mean, I think he was even in ROTC and then he got this K-bar knife and it was just sort of this interesting, and they hadn't cleared him. They went out of their way to clear everybody, but they didn't clear him yet. They said they were aware of these phone calls that were being made, you know, and so law enforcement sort of made it seem like that was a possibility, as well as Steve and other people in interviews. If he knew who the girls were and saw them on the video stream, wasted them, he might... come on. That's just not... That didn't happen. My God, you guys. Oh, guess what the clown is saying now? He's saying that the person in court wasn't really Bryan Kohberger. Yeah. You know what's funny is people actually watch that stuff. I mean, isn't a clown literally the last person in the world that you would trust with information and believe, especially when they lied to you for 2 years and then you're going to get fooled again? You know that whole phrase, fool me twice, you know? Shame on me. Well, he's fooled you 700 times and you're still watching. Man, you're dumb. No, that's really idiotic, Chickbait. You're... I only heard about what it was about. Didn't even watch it. It's embarrassing, Chickbait, that you spend any time doing that. You should be ashamed of yourself. Let's see. The parachute theory the clown said was ludicrous. Okay. He might had one... Oh, you should be ashamed of yourself. You're giving him... Every time you're watching that, you're increasing the ability for his to be viewed. That's stupid. I want to see what everybody's saying. I want to know it all. Really? You want to know garbage every single time? That's stupid. Why would you watch something that you know isn't going to be true? That's not being open-minded or, you know, making yourself, you know, a little open to the what's going on. It's idiotic. Okay. Yeah, well, you know, it's just, yeah, it's irresponsible actually, because you're making it so that you're watching it, and then it gets out there, and then people start seeing it, and it's like, ooh, 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 ooh. It's unbelievable. How embarrassing. Let's see. I'm like that. I watch left-leaning media because, well, that's a different thing. That's not being like that. That's just, you know, in politics, there's two different viewpoints. This guy puts out completely false information intentionally because it just gets views and clicks. What the most absurd thing he puts out there. No, I don't think he picked that house because it didn't have cameras. I think most college, you know, sort of off-campus houses like that do not have security cameras. And that's why there was really just one, and the apartment had one, and that's normal. I mean, isn't that amazing that every single house on that street, other than that one random, amazingly important 111 King Road, had one? I mean, without that, we'd have nothing. But hey, you guys, I need your guys' support. So if you're out there, if you could please help support the channel tonight. It'd be a great night to buy some memberships for people. We got a lot of names in here that aren't members, and we seem to be having really horrendous membership gifting nights. He obviously didn't think about any cameras. When I was growing up, there was this guy that would be a clown that I loved on TV. Yeah. Joy Reid's a pile of Jesus. Joy Reid's an embarrassment to mankind. Let's see. Joe and a completely false person, Joy Reid. Everything she said is false. Yeah, and people keep making those comments. It was a drug house, Gray. Hey, Kaylee, Madison's parents and Xana, they were into drugs, Gray. Gray, do you know that, Gray? Okay, let's say they were. Who cares? What does that have to do with anything? You know, how are his parents connected to Bryan Kohberger? No, you don't see, Gray. Kohberger is a plant. He's a patsy. It was really this big drug oh my God, you guys are idiotic. So the drug operation also had a white Elantra, and they carried around a glove that had, they carried around a knife sheath that had Kohberger's DNA on it? Wow, that's amazing. Retract the plea deal. He has the ability to do so before sentencing. I don't know. I don't think that's very good odds. Like Bryan Kohberger doesn't want to be executed by a firing squad. No, the only rumors you hear about it are from the lunatics on YouTube that for some reason you guys watch. Like Jay Embry, the clown, the UK guy. These people are absolute certifiable lunatics covering the Bryan Kohberger case. And, it's been obvious for 2 years, yet people go, ooh, this is so cool, look at this. And it's embarrassing as hell, man. It just shows you how backwards and depraved our society has come in all these years. And there's a whole bunch more. Jules, or whatever the hell her name is. It just goes on and on and on and on. And they're not true crime YouTubers. They're true BS YouTubers. Hey, thanks, T. Moral. If you've been watching this channel from the whole time, this case is not confusing. It's not, you don't have questions like, other than technical questions like, ooh, I wonder how he, but it's not, it's so obvious, it's mind-blowing. It's that's why there was a plea deal. This case, his attorney saw it the same way I did. He has no outs, and he is going to lose because he is the killer. And he is a killer. He's admitted it. Well, good, Joe Huck. It's good. Some people, you were on the right track the whole time then, right? Yeah, I know, if he rescinds it. Do you really think, if I did a poll, I don't think, I can't imagine that getting over. Well, it might be 25% because that would be the troll count. Let's do it. I'll tell you what, if you guys want to ask poll questions, throw them in a super chat and we can put them up on the screen. All right, there we go. No. I mean, yes, from the lunatics that you watch, Chickbait, yes, yeah. Yeah, they probably said that from the beginning. He's a rude host. He thinks Pro-burgers are idiots, everybody. Loopy Lou. Let's go ahead and put Loopy Lou on the screen there. I'm a rude host because I think that people that believe Kohberger is innocent are idiots. But doesn't that make you an idiot? You know, you ever thought of that? Whew. Wow. It's too late now to rescind. Oh, I'm not cranky at all. I feel totally normal, Athena. Yeah, I think it's embarrassing that people take the time. You know what I am? I'm frustrated that on my channel, where I spend hours and hours and hours putting together a video so that people can understand something clearly, and a video gets like 4,000 views, absolutely horrendous. And then a clown can talk about Kohberger jumping out of a plane, parachuting into the deck, diving through the window, and then noticing a homicide going on, he jumped off the balcony and ran to a white launcher that just happened to be sitting there, and he drove away, and oh man, he'll get 100,000 views on that one. Yes, that makes me angry. I hate it. And then you do a live stream, and you know everybody knows we have these goals, and we can't even get to those. It's not really that fun, to be honest. Let's see. Hi, Gray. Surely the state have CCTV of BK's car visiting the house 23 times. I don't think so. They have the cell data on that. Well, she's one of the worst there ever was, Athena. You're embarrassing. She's the worst that's ever been. Man, that just means your brain is horrible. Let's see. No, when you put out videos, they just either make it or they don't, Falco. Maybe look in the mirror yourself. I don't know. I don't know how. I mean, he's already signed it, so I don't know how he can rescind it before he's sentenced. But maybe he can. I don't know. Maybe he has the ability to. I mean, you'd think he would. I don't know. I guess there's got to be a time frame. I mean, I think once you sign it, you're kind of stuck to it, right? Yeah. Somebody just blocked that Athena person. She's embarrassing. Who's the worst? I was away for a minute. I don't know. I don't even know what you're talking about. I mean, none of these people have apologized to their viewers for lying to them for 2 years. Okay? None of them. They're doubling down. All right? And some people have gone into the comments and said they were wrong. They're eating, humble pie or eating crow, whatever the hell it is. And those people are cool because they can at least admit it. Now, in this case, if it had gone to trial and it was a hung jury, I would just still go, no, he did it. And even if, like, I mean, I guess if we found out that there were nutjob pro-burgers on there and he was found innocent, I'd have to say, oh my God. I'd never believe it. So I guess I'd be similar to the pro-burgers, except in this case, it didn't even go to trial. Kohberger admitted it and signed a document. Is anybody here? Yeah, well, I do. I admit when I make mistakes, you know. When I read something incorrectly in the chat, etc. How can Kohberger rescind? Yeah. see. People hate me for being... I don't care, chickbait. You don't have to be... I don't even care if you're a Grant Hughes fan. I'm getting disillusioned by this whole YouTube thing anyways. It's too hard to make it with all the new shit going on with, you know, the big channel like Court TV and Law and Crime actually putting out their individual hosts as now new YouTube channels too, and then there's just hardly any room for the rest of us, you know, and especially, I mean, just look at it. It used to be I'd do a show and everybody was supporting the channel, we'd hit the goals. At the end of the month, we could donate $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, and that's not happening. And it has nothing to do with, I mean, some people can't afford it, etc., but there are people that can. They just don't want to anymore. It's like, oh, I'm going to give it to, you know, the sensationalistic people. I have no idea. He started his own hamburger restaurant. Well, then go watch the other ones, chickbait. All right. I don't like the way you think about stuff. You know, bugs me. Let's see. Maybe Red Skeleton was the clown. Does Bryan actually have the ability to rescind? I don't think so. Yeah, because you almost go out of your way to, you know, just, you know, say kind of goofy, weird shit. Like, why would you watch a clown? Honestly, it's just crazy, you know? Let's see. What was that one up there? Can someone rescind... let's see. Can a criminal rescind a plea deal after signing the document? Generally, withdrawing a guilty plea after signing a plea agreement is difficult, but it's not impossible. You may be able to withdraw a guilty plea, especially before sentencing, if you can demonstrate a fair and just reason for the withdrawal. Okay, so it'd be, you know, it's not going to be easy. There have to be a fair and just reason. Like if somehow a third party just happened to show up. Hey, thanks, Roger Sellers. So what do you think it was at the pool party that sort of made him that same night drive around this area? Do you think it was that there were other people that just happened to live in the same general area, and then he got his eye? His name is Brent Kohberger, and he has nothing to do with anything. You guys are crazy, man. We're still with the Brent Kohberger. Oh, because he has the same initials. Yeah, let's see. I think it was all those girls that were creeped out by him. Maybe he followed some home, and they just kind of happened to live in the area. I wonder if he, like, you know, followed them back, and a lot of them live in those houses there and the apartments. I bet you that's what it is, man. I bet you that, let's see. I don't know if that's, is that going to open? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have it right here. You know, like in this area over here, I bet you a bunch of people, girls that might have gone to there or lived right in these other homes, like that house, that house, that house, that house right there is a party house. There's another house back there, that house right there, and then maybe over in those apartments up there. Hey, thanks, Roger S. Yes, it is the best channel on YouTube. It's just undiscovered by, I don't know. It almost feels like I live in the Matrix or something. Hey, thanks, Dixie Hippie, for gifting a membership to Holly Beth. All right. But all of these different homes up here have people living in them. So what if, and this is what I call the complex. That's what my video was today. All right. And so, you know, I mean, look at this crap. I mean, this is, I have so much stuff in this case. It's crazy. I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen this many pins on one case. But by the way, see all these yellow pins here? Those are all 1112 King Road pieces of surveillance that mattered. And then also all these are as well. Isn't that crazy? Teacher Gambrel gifted one. Hey, we're making some progress, you guys. Making some progress. We're at like 57% now. Let me turn off all this. It's too much. Go up here to the top, and there we go. Nothing. So this is how you got to look at this. Here is King Road right here. See this? Can you guys see my mouse? It's small, but you go like this, and this is Queen Road. And there's no out of there. You can drive right over here, but there's a wall there. There's no way to get out. Like, you can't get onto this street. See, there's a street right here. I remember when we first did this, we weren't sure about any of this stuff. Right here, and then it goes around and then out that way, but there's no way out from back here. This is a whole separate deal. I'll show you here. Watch. So for people who haven't seen it, we're going to go right behind there and see right here. This is back behind there, and look, that driveway's up there. So there's this whole parking lot here, and there's no way to get up there, and there's no way out. Well, thanks, Roger Sellers, again. See right up here. So when let's just pause the camera right now, and that is right here. That's this parking lot right there. Right? And you can see that you can't get up there. See? It's blocked in. There's no way to drive around or anything. But there's this little path back here that you drive around, and this is where Kohberger kept driving on each of the passes around like that. And so there's no way out, and that's why I always call this the like the complex. So you come in here, and that's the only way in and out is right there. That's it. You come in, the only way out is back through King Road right there. So what if those girls, I mean, from the pool party, which was just right, I think it's, where the hell is that? Like right here, somewhere really just right at the edge of campus. It's not far away at all. Is that it right there? No. Maybe it's a little bit more south. Like if I just turn them back on, I can see it. That's Indian Hills Drive. I don't know, I must have not put a pin on that one. I think it's just there's a pool. This is that right here, I think. Yeah, there you go. So that's where the pool party is. And look how close that is. This area here, this right there is the complex. And then here's where the pool party is. So maybe some people that live in there were there, and then he followed them home, and then he realized where they all live. I bet you this is exactly how it worked. Then he realized exactly where they all live. So then he goes over there at nighttime, like at 3 in the morning, and he drives around. He comes in and he looks and sees, and he drives around. And then he realized that this house here was perfect. Thank you,
Please help
Timothy
support the
Cecil.
channel. This channel relies on the members to continue giving money to various true crime organizations. Thank you.
That's right. That's exactly right. I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, even last month we were able to give 3,000 out. The month before 5, but it sucked to go down to 3. And now we started out the month okay because of some videos that I put out. But yeah. Followed them home, or maybe gave some people who might have been drunk a ride home. I don't think so. I think he just followed them back, knew where they lived in general, kind of, and then he would go back at the nighttime. And when he's driving around here, he really couldn't get a good view because you can't. I've driven here, and it's just, the houses are houses. But when he was driving around, he probably came back here for a while, and he noticed, because he could see through the windows up there. And maybe that's when he started getting fixated on Madison Mogen. Some people think that he went to his the restaurant that they worked at, the Mad Greek. And we haven't seen or heard any officials say that at all. Right? Not one. Well, I think watching the clown chick bait is also living in La La Land. So maybe you should take a look at that. Hey, thanks PJ. Thanks Gray. Love the new videos. Yeah. Let me see if anybody's seen this yet. Let's see where we're at now. I mean, really, just and I don't know what was the thing that one guy said about Kohberger, that he was going to abduct Madison Mogen. No chance, man. Not a chance in hell that he was going to abduct her. I'd be shocked out of my mind if that's what we get back. Yeah, so look at this. 4,500 views, just barely, it's terrible, on a video that I spent I was up till 1 o'clock in the morning after the show yesterday, that I stopped early. And I just kept working and working. And then I got up in the morning and worked on it some more, and then put it out there and just collapsed right out of the gate. It's a deflating feeling. Hey, thanks, Elizabeth Bergman. He was stalking someone, and somehow he found it easier to spy on those girls. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Christy. Nah. Yeah, I don't think he was stalking anybody in particular. He was just driving around looking for a target. Let's see. Kohberger attended a testimonial for the 2 slain. Nah, we saw that video, the guy walking. We don't know if that's him or not. I've seen that of a guy walking, though. Now, geeks and nerds follow factual stuff, not clowns. Chickbait. I don't know what they're doing, Winston. I have no idea. I mean, I just put out a video the other day that got 77,000 views. And if I had every video get 77,000 views, I wouldn't even care if I got super chats. But the video that I put out today will probably make about $32 or something, It's pretty bad. Yeah, spending 6 hours to get that is just not worth the time. No, it means you're a very gullible person, Chickbait. Why waste your time watching a clown who has never put out one scintilla of factual information? Let's see. I remember young, coming out of the clubs with my cousins. 4 of us would go together and take a taxi home There would be guys in cars waiting when the door closed, offering girls. Yeah. You know, there's also those guys that go to the bars and they're the last ones sort of sitting around waiting. Oh, you're answering somebody else. Oh, I thought you were talking to me. That's why you got to tag people. When you're talking to somebody else, tag the person that you're talking to. Oh, jeez. Now we got another troll. Yeah, that's how we make a difference. My channel, by the way, is given, see, unlike what Melon, Pip, and her, the people that they watch, we give $2,000 out. To, one to the, I think it was the Ethan Chapin Fund, and then one for all the girls. Or it might have been Xana Kernodal. No, I can't remember now, but we gave it out to both the $2,000 to both of the scholarship funds that they put together. All right, how much did the clown give them? The UK guy. That's what I thought. 0. Okay. Yeah, he doesn't purchase those. He steals them from other people. You know how he does it. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to take calls or not. Okay, we'll just ask it in the comments section. No, it's okay. I mean, I'm not saying I don't want anybody to go broke sending money to my channel. I'm just saying if people are out there,
I wish I could give more, thank you.
yeah, if you can afford it, then that's great. You know, other than that, I don't have any control. I'm at the mercy of people watching the live streams. I do a live stream. I've been doing this for 5.5 years, every single day. I bet you I've only missed 20 days total in 5.5 years. Maybe 25. You know, I think had to go to get surgery. Even when I got surgery on my neck, I came in and I still did a live stream or something. I mean, it was pretty crazy. We've been doing that for a long time. But thanks, Amanda. Oh, hell, if your name's Amanda, it must be a great name, huh? That may make people want to tune in. Yeah, I mean, I was thinking of opening it up, but when anybody says they want to come on, it makes me nervous about what they're going to do. Hey, thanks, Ted Bundy.
A girl she dated was murdered by her childhood classmate who lived down the street from her on Christmas Day. He then hung himself before trial. Rip Lauren K.
A girls, a dated? You mean you dated? I don't know what you're saying. A girls, a dated. From her on Christmas Day. He then hung himself before trial. I'm not sure if that's a riddle for another case or something. No, you can. I don't have. There's no phone calls anymore because I used to use Skype, and Skype has been removed. I do have StreamYard, where you can click on a link, and if you don't want to have your video on the screen, then you can just, talk. Do you guys want to try that? We could try that.
I can certainly appreciate the hard work involved in the earlier video.
Yeah, no, that took hours and 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 hours. You got to put the all in order and then a message on the screen. Maybe we can take a look at that later on here, just to go over it, because I mean, that's the case. I think this is a true statement that I'm going to make right here. That let's see. If let's say there was a knife sheath left on the bed, but there was no DNA on it, and you still have all the Elantra footage and everything else, and they were able to determine, and they figured out the name Bryan Kohberger, and they could still make an incredibly strong case with circumstantial evidence. However, if you just had the knife sheath only with Bryan Kohberger's DNA on it and no surveillance footage, let's say he had snuck through the woods all the way from Pullman and went in and committed that homicide, I think that'd be a really weak case that has no chance of winning. Where the Elantra footage and all the different places and the cast information and all that is huge.
Keep up the great work.
Hey, thanks, Matt Hill. Appreciate it. All right, I'm gonna try to do it, but I think the Elantra information and then having the sheath on the bed, even if it didn't have the DNA, would be huge. If there was no sheath on the bed, the white Elantra driving around, you'd have to piece everything together and sort of thread a needle, but you could still do it. But just having a knife sheath with DNA on it, then the arguments for touch DNA would be much stronger, because then you could say, well, there's no evidence he was anywhere there at all. There's DNA on the knife sheath, but what other evidence do you have that he was there? But the thing is, the Elantra just nails it. It's right there. And now we know it because he's admitted it, right? All right, let's see. Okay, I'll give it a shot here. We don't have the phone numbers anymore, though. There's the StreamYard link. I'll pin it to the top. All right, there it is. Will Kohberger rescind? No. 18 said yes. That's the troll count number. Yeah, we need about another, let's see. If we get another 15 channel memberships, I'll donate 5 myself, okay? That's what we need to do. 15 channel memberships gifted by the generous freaks out there. Let's see what we can do. All right, so I accidentally pushed yes. Okay, well, you don't have to admit it. Anyway, I just think the trolls that watch always reverse what I said. Yeah, let's do it right here. I'll give you an example. Is 1 plus 1 equal to 2? All right, there we go. Hey, there's Roger Sellers gifting a membership. Yeah, I mean, there's other evidence, like when he bought the K-bar knife itself, him trying to delete his purchase attempt activity, all those different things. I'm sure they have, like he looked at Maddie's Instagram. That's right. Now Snapchat just pops into my head with Xana. Isn't that weird how sometimes things just don't pop into your head? I think it does that less and less the older you get. Yeah, look up there at the top, you guys. 82 to 18, exactly the same number. Do you see that up there? Ah, ha, ha. That is awesome. I just proved it. Hey, it's John Dunn, the legend. How's it going, John Dunn? $4. That's a weird number, man. Is that like what a coffee costs at Costco? Nah, she was on... Now I don't remember. Jesus. Hold on. I'm going to go... Working on Kohberger. Hold on a second. Important files. Full. Xana. Logan 45. Locations of Bryan Kohberger's cell phone. Huh. Kaylee. I know what I'm looking for. Could have been. Snapchat? No, it's the button to snap. Okay. Hold on a second. It's in this, it's in here. 326. 404. Let's see. I think it might be up here. It's okay. TikTok. No, it was TikTok. That's what I said earlier. It was TikTok. That's what I said earlier. And then I got now then Snapchat came in ahead because you guys said it was Snapchat. It was TikTok. And then she commented on TikTok about a she called somebody a queen on there on TikTok. Hey, my original memory was pretty good. That's pretty cool. Hey, thanks, John Dunn. All right, well, now we just need 9 more channel memberships, and then I'll donate 5 myself. All right, well, we got the, up at the top is StreamYards. It's just like a phone. You just click on it, connect it, and then you just don't have to turn your camera on. And you can talk about this case. You know, tell me how amazing all the videos we've done on this channel are. I mean, I think, here's what I think. I think the fact that, you know, I have been on different shows, like 20 times I've been on Court TV probably. It probably means that, you know, the video and the way we think through things here is pretty good. Holy crap, look at all these people just showed up. I'm not sure how to do this. I don't want to have a panel, though. That's the thing. Let me do this one first. Okay, we're going to do this Carm.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're on there, Carm. Yeah. You're on there. You're on there.
Okay,
I gotta
can you
hold on.
My face.
Well, I don't know. You have to hide it. That's on your end. I can't do it. Let me fix the echo cancellation. There we go. I don't know how to do the what you're saying. I guess I could do it like if I just go like this. Hold on. Like that. There you go. Go ahead. Now it's just a picture on the screen. You there?
Yeah. Is not echoing anymore.
No, not on my end.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to tell you. Yeah. Do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. I just want to tell you that I'm so amazed by everything that you've ever done. Like, I'm just overwhelmed by all the videos, and I just literally want to cry. And I just went on never seen in my life. Like, you told me you were talking about those other channels. Well, as soon as like Bryan Kohberger pled guilty, I logged off, and then all of a sudden these weird channels came on, and they were like, now that Bryan pled guilty, what are we gonna do to, you know what I mean, just to see why he pled guilty? Like,
yeah,
why did he pretend to do that? You know, all this. And
yeah, I was just well, I'm gonna keep I mean, you know, once the gag order is lifted, all of a sudden all these documents will come out, and I mean, this is the place you'll want to see it all put together. You'll have people read about it and talk about it, but we're going to, know exactly where to put it, and it'll all make sense.
I know. And I remember a long time ago when Richard Allen was guilty, and you were asking for somebody to call in to do someone to be like Richard Allen. I wanted to be that person because it was like, hey,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
he's like, no,
yeah.
I really did it, and he's
Right.
like, and his family was like, no. I
Yeah.
remember
Well, I want
he's
to
like,
get the transcripts for the Delphi trial too. I'm trying to get it free, but I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work. Hopefully, I'd like to go over the whole trial with a bunch of people up here, and we just pretend we're different people and do the trial. Because none of us got to watch it, the Delphi case. But
yeah,
anyway.
absolutely. And I'm so sorry. No, I know, but I think my stupid computer is echoing.
Oh,
But I just wanted to let you know that I've been saving money for a long time, so I'm gonna make a donation. So I'm just gonna go to the bank, and I promise you, I'm making a donation soon. Remember my name? It sounds like karma, but it's
oh
Carmi.
yeah. Well,
And
I
I'm
don't
gonna
want you to have it. Well, if it affects your life or something, don't do it.
no,
If you
no.
got to go do
Actually,
stuff,
that
you have to
actually
save
no.
up. I don't want you to do it.
Don't even get into that with me. 'Cause I'm gonna get really pissed off. See, now listen, it's actually echoing. So I wanted to like tell you some more funny things, like, and I can like hear echoing. No, you're doing nothing wrong. And I literally have written down all the things I wanted to like tell you how much
Well,
I
how about this? How
appreciate
about this?
you.
How about this? How about this? Why do you, if you turn down your speaker,
Oh, okay.
you might be able to like just turn down the speaker a bit, or also in the settings on StreamYard, you can hit echo cancellation.
Okay.
So I don't know if you can see the setting in there, but like you hit the little cog wheel.
Okay.
The,
I'm really sorry.
yeah.
I'm really sorry,
No,
guys.
it's okay. No, at the bottom of the screen, see the settings thing? I don't know if you can see that, but on StreamYard at the bottom of the screen, there's a
Okay.
little a cog wheel. If you hit settings and then you go over to audio, you can hit the echo cancellation. But we don't hear an echo on your end, though. I mean, we don't hear it. So if you
Okay.
can just deal with your echoes and talk, it'll work.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
Now, none of us hear your echo at all.
Okay, but I want to. The problem was is I wanted to hear you, so I think I'm hitting the wrong.
Okay, but but you have StreamYards open, right? Do you see at the bottom of the screen where it says, are you using your cell phone or a
Yeah, I
computer?
do. Great. Okay, can I call? I'll call back in a little bit. I feel embarrassed.
Okay, if you want to. Okay, cool. If you want to. Call back
Okay.
in. All right.
I,
See you later. Bye
all right. Okay. Bye. Thank you.
bye. See ya.
Bye.
Now, let's see. See, all these other ones, there's people here, but it doesn't. It says authenticated with YouTube, but they're not here to add. I can't add them to the stage. Oh, okay. Maybe I'll try this one. Winston.
Hello, Gray. Good to see you.
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, it's echoing really bad.
You have to. Well, I have echo
Uh,
cancellation on my end. Hold on. Right. So you have to turn on.
might be on my end.
Yeah. Let me try this. How about now? Is it echoing now?
Here, do I go to audio?
Is it echoing now?
No, I
Testing
can
one.
still hear it.
Yeah, you go to audio and
Yeah,
then
it's on
echo
my end.
cancel,
I hear my voice.
and then you go to echo cancellation there. So you go to audio and then you.
Selected echo cancellation, but I can.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
one
I have
second.
mine.
Sorry, guys. All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Did you fix it?
That's not it. Let me try this one last thing. All right, how about now?
Yeah, you sound normal to us. It's on your end that you got to worry about.
All right.
Wait, do you have your YouTube video open? I think that's it. Somebody just said that.
God, I'm an idiot. I'm
Yeah,
an
I think that's
idiot. Yeah, that
exactly. No,
was it. I'm
I think that's exactly the same thing.
okay. Yeah,
That
thank you to the guy who said that. You saved the
yeah,
day.
thanks,
Sorry about that, Gray.
Shadow Aspect figured it out. I thought of it on
Can you
other
hear me?
shows. It just didn't. Yeah, I can hear
I
you.
can't hear. Oh wait, I might need
Yeah,
Gray. Okay.
yeah, I can hear you.
All right, sorry. I was getting the feedback from the stream, and I also had to change it to where I was hearing through my earphones. These mic settings are very pain in the ass. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's all
Anyway,
right.
I'm happy to be here. I actually was a big follower of yours on a previous YouTube account, but that account got terminated for it. It's this whole like kerfuffle. So I'm on a new YouTube channel, and I realized I wonder what Gray Hughes was doing, and I see you've grown quite a bit. You're at how many subs? You're at 160 subs now. That's pretty big. When I was
160,000. Yeah,
160,000. Sorry. Yeah, when I
that's
was following you, you were like I think 40,000, and then you got a big bump from a YouTuber who linked your video to another true crime case. I think that was Lazy Masquerade, and then you got a bump, and it's just been growing from
yeah,
there. So I'm happy to be here.
yeah. It's
I
always
want
kind of like jumps and starts. Like sometimes, like for example, just the video I made the other day. Since that video, I got 1,000 subscribers from just that one video. So it's kind of like every once in a while you get a couple videos that you get a bunch of subs from.
Yeah. I remember this to go back to the subject at hand. I remember the Bryan Kohberger case when it happened. Like it was a slow news day, but like Idaho doesn't really have that many murders. So when it happened, it was kind of like a shock for the community. And the guy was on the run for a while, and then they finally caught him. A lot of the people I know think that Kohberger is guilty, and like he wouldn't have a chance to fight in court. But before Kohberger, one of the big cases that I remember you covering was the Delphi cases,
Mm.
and you someone in chat said that you think that Richard Allen is guilty.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
Um,
I felt exactly the same way. I mean, like when I go through the probable cause and all and then it got worse for him when we see all the confessions and people want to blame that on like he was treated a certain way and all of a sudden he's confessing, but when you listen to the confessions they're completely normal sounding. He even interrupts them and says, no, listen, I did it.
okay. Um, I only have two things left to say about that. Do you think that he was a part of a network, like maybe a deep web group of people or a cult that was like getting snuff videos of like victims?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
do
but
you
that's
think that?
something that did cross my mind. I mean, that is one of the things that I had talked about over the years, that maybe he filmed something, because I thought like Keegan Kline. I still think that there's a strong possibility that Richard Allen somehow knows Keegan Kline, and Keegan Kline. My theory back then was that Keegan Kline gave Richard Allen like a cell phone, and then he filmed what happened, gave it to Keegan Kline later, and then he took that to Las Vegas and sold that for whatever amount of money. Because remember how Keegan Kline found a cell phone, he says, in a cab that he factory reset. I mean, that's just bullshit. Okay,
Right.
so I mean, I did think that, and I still don't not think that. I mean, like, it's just crazy, because even when I interviewed Jerry Holman, he said that they believe that the girls went to the bridge because, let's see, the Keegan Kline, what was it called? The hell's the name of that?
The bridge?
No, the kid, the guy that he was pretending.
Um, I don't know. I just know the victim's
Well,
name.
no, but no, he was like, he had a catfishing account that he used, and for some reason it's not popping into my head. It's weird, but anyways, there was this catfishing account, and Holman said, yeah, Anthony Schatz. There you go. So, Holman said that they believed that the girls went there for Schatz, the Schatz account, which Keegan Kline owned. So then, how come that person didn't show up, but then Richard Allen was there? You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, that's just crazy.
Right. I watch. I don't know if you watch any law tubers, like lawyers who go over
No.
court cases on YouTube. But there's this one guy. He goes by the name Potentially Criminal. His real name's Sean. It's like
Uh,
he goes by Sean too, and he actually says that he thinks either Richard Allen is not guilty or that there's not enough evidence to convict him. And it would be really interesting because Potentially Criminal, he goes on like shows of people that he doesn't agree with and will debate them or have a discussion. It would be
mhm.
really interesting to see you two guys like discuss the Delphi case.
Well, I
Because
kind of did that already with one of the other law tubers. He came on and he just tried to do his little spin thing that he likes to do, and after a while, it just got shut down. I mean, it's I mean the the thing is Richard Allen gets boxed in as bridge guy. Now you can always have people that can say stuff like, well, maybe it was a different guy that looked like him, and there was another set of 3 girls that saw him, but they weren't the ones that came forward. They saw a different guy that looked just like him. That's where it gets where then I can't argue with them anymore. It's if they want to debate the points, the actual facts of it, then I would do it. But if they start trying to wander around trying to say like, well, it's possible that, well, sure. I mean, aliens could have, if
right,
we believe life's on other planets, I mean, I guess there's
right, the uncertain, the what is it called? The uncertain something. It's the uncertainty principle, where anything is technically possible. But all right, I'm just saying it'd be an interesting case if you want to like reach out to him or he reach out to you to discuss it. I'd be very entertained. Well, not entertained, but I think informed as well as
yeah.
entertained because
Yeah.
I like this stuff. Find it
I
very
mean, I hope the person's not claiming that Richard Allen is factually innocent. He might believe he might be innocent, but to claim
uh
he's factually innocent, that's absurd and almost embarrassing. I mean,
right.
there's
He just thinks that he's innocent or that there isn't enough evidence to convict him. It's been a while since I caught his Delphi streams, but they were very good. I would I just keep an
yeah.
open mind and see if you want to have a discussion. And I guess the last thing before you bring someone else on is what is with this uh New England serial killer going around. I saw one true crime channel
Yeah.
discuss it last week. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen people talking about it. I haven't seen anybody definitively saying that that there's a serial killer. I mean, when I say anybody, I mean officials. Like, hey, there's a serial killer. There's bodies they've been finding in water, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's about all I know. I don't know anything.
Uh,
I do have it as a folder to look at.
okay.
What was the? Let me look. Let's
Yeah,
see.
I can point you to a few YouTube videos talking about
Well,
it, and
it's
it's
like,
like
oh,
just
I'd rather
happening
just.
right
I don't
now.
like looking at other people's YouTube videos. So there's
No,
like
no,
a New England serial killer because there's an
yeah.
Indianapolis one too, though. Yeah,
I think I heard about the Indianapolis one recently, but I know about the New England one from last week. I think he's in Maine or Vermont or New Hampshire, somewhere like
mhm.
that. But yeah, you don't have a Discord, do you? Like, do you know what Discord is? Like the social media app where you can go
Yeah, I
on.
have a Discord. We don't really use it that much, but
Oh, okay.
I
Because
mean, I
I
do
can
have
bring
it.
some information about the New England one if you're ever interested, or I'll at you on Twitter.
Well, you can also send me an email at grayhuze2 at gmail.com. Or I guess you could just, I'm on Twitter, so you could message me on there if you want.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, thank you very much, Gray, for having me on. It's been good reconnecting with you. I really enjoy your streams and I enjoy the work you do.
Oh, thanks, Winston. Appreciate it.
All
Have a good
right.
one.
See ya. Bye.
See you. Bye. I got somebody on here like Amber Williams, but I'm just going to remove it because I don't know what. They might have to come back on. They're just sitting there, and there's no way to add them or anything. So who was on before? Because I think that was the answer. They still had their YouTube open. That's caused me problems before too. Hey guys, we only need 9 more channel memberships. And then we'll reach the goal number where I can, that's only $45 total by all the freaks out there. Or whatever form it comes in. And we'll donate the 5 memberships, and then we'll have 25 memberships tonight. That'd be pretty sweet. Hopefully people will stick around. Hey, look at that. Hey, Winston just did 5 of them. Well, thanks, Winston. That was very kind of you. Yeah, it's hard to debate conspiracy theory because I believe if you think Richard Allen is innocent, you're basically a conspiracy theorist. You know what I mean? That's what it feels like. But hey, at the top of the chat there, we have a pinned StreamYard link. Well, thanks for coming on, Winston. You're one of the few. I mean, a lot of times when people call in, they have an extra agenda. You just seem like a normal person that came on. That was cool. The best way to debate is by engaging with your opponent. You have to watch and I already know the entire Delphi case still. And when you have, I have the maps. See, when you have the map in the Delphi case, the other person has no argument. You know, they'll just say something, well, this could have been this and this and this and this. And then it's like, okay, but is that really reasonable? You know, and they say, yeah, because when, and then how do you get somewhere? It's tough. All right, now we just need 4 more. But yeah, you guys got to check in. Somebody else get on here. What do you mean? It's pinned at the top of the chat. It's right there. Oh, by the way, I don't think I've even mentioned it yet, but that flooding going on in Texas, what a nightmare. Jesus, I watch it during the day. It's just really sad and just frustrating. And, you know, I mean, first of all, people shouldn't live in places that have that ability, sort of like living in New Orleans and some of those places, you know. Yeah, I was talking about Texas, though. Let's see. It's just strange when you live in a flood zone. I mean, I don't know. What's the point of that, I guess? I mean, you got Texas EquiSearch out there. That's one of the people we've given over $20,000 to. What do you mean, what happened in Texas? Do you ever watch the news? Yeah, it was just horrendous raining and just basically a tidal wave that came down like a wash or something. I mean, it was nothing, and then it went up 40 feet of wave came down and took away, and it wasn't the ocean. It was, you know, and it took away all of these, all the homes. There was this whole camp with these girls that like 20-something young girls that were at a camp just vanished off the face of the earth. I mean, they just were washed away. You have there apparently there's already this is been going on for like 3 or 4 days now, and you had 100 people dead and 100 and something missing. That's crazy. Let's see. Winston said, if you had to choose, would you rather live in New Orleans or some random town? But the random town, his name was Beaverton. I don't know. I don't live in Beaverton, but Beaverton is, I don't know. I wouldn't want to live in Beaverton. I can tell you that. Yeah, I was thinking 160. Yeah. 110 now. Jeez, that's a lot. 110 people, and all these just really, just kids at a camp. And, the warning, I guess there was a warning, but like 35 minutes later, or 45 minutes, it's 35 feet high wave. No, it's still, that call-in's still up there. It's right there. You can call in. It's at the top of the screen. There's a StreamYard link. Can you guys not see that, or? Well, I bet it's the same way here, Winston, because we have a Beaverton here in like 10 miles away, and I think there's a lot of crime over there. Why do you think that is? Was it the name that caused it? I think New Orleans probably has more crime than Beaverton, though. Hey, well, thanks, PK sews it up. Do I need to, let me get rid of it and boot again. Can nobody see it, or what? What's going on? Let me see. I'm going to remove it and just put it in the chat again. Hey, you guys, we just need 4 more channel memberships. We can do it. Come on. Okay, there's the StreamYard link in the chat there. Right? No, I don't want you to do it, Chickbait. But on people's phones in the middle of the night, they relied on phone trees, not sign. I don't blame anybody for this, other than planning to have people live there. You know what I'm saying? Okay, yeah. So you have to call in, Chickbait, and then there'll be 4 more memberships. Okay. All right, here we go. Yeah, I don't. It's just there is a political party out there accusing the federal government of causing the problem. Of course, you know how that goes. How disgusting is that, by the way? To use a tragedy like this to blame, like, it's just absolutely insane. Well, what about the people? Oh God. And it's even worse when people believe that. Yeah, it's just what it is, people shouldn't be living in those areas, by the way, but or figure out a way to make it so you're safe if you live in an area like that. Oh yeah, they tried to blame the current administration for the flood in Texas. I mean, I know you got, I've heard of TDS, but I mean, that's a little bit beyond. All right, here we go. There she is. It's Chickbait. Oh my God! Look at the hat on the
John, and put 30 seconds on the clock. I'll be really nice. I love your program.
Hey, wait, hold on a second. Are you having echoes? Are you good?
No, are you?
No, I just want to make sure.
No, I muted my YouTube.
Okay.
Good to see it.
I see the hat though. What's going on with the hat there?
I wore that for you.
I'm gonna make you full screen. I'm gonna make you full screen. Okay. There we go. All right, there it is. Looks like 4th of July.
I did wear this on 4th of July.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool.
Anyway, no, thanks for your show and thanks for being supportive to all your audience. And I just have always wished you the best, to be honest. And I really admire that you're honest and grateful for everything that's come your way. And I've been watching you for a few years now. So just thank you. And that's all I had to say.
Yeah. Also, I don't know. I guess, I mean, I just say what I think, you know. Some people don't like it, you know. Just like I say, you shouldn't be watching The Clown, okay?
I can explain that more. You're more of a visual, one-on-one kind of conversationalist. I only watch, like, you know, opinions that differ, so I can, like, kind of, you know, put them together in my
Right.
mind.
But I could understand that if it was like somebody was thinking, I think Kohberger came through the front door, not a person that's saying, I think aliens flew.
No,
Yeah, like,
I'm glad you mentioned aliens because I thought he arrived there in a UFO. Right?
You know what? I thought that originally too.
Yeah, with Bigfoot was there. Of course.
Yeah, that's right. We do have the one super chat thing that has a UFO that beams up an elk with a Bigfoot sitting on it. It's pretty crazy.
Well, anyway, I don't want to compromise the integrity of your channel.
Well, it's not. It's not.
But
I'm just flipping you crap. You know how I do
fine.
it.
I'm glad we finally got to meet kind of face to face.
Yeah, it is pretty much face to face.
But I'm gonna get going.
Did you wear that hat just for me?
Yeah.
Well, thank you. All right. It's very patriotic looking. All right, cool.
My friend's right here. He urged me to like actually follow through. Want to come on for a second?
Oh yeah, say something.
Say something, Lewis.
Hey, Gray.
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, not much.
He's like, if you go on there, wear the hat.
Well, yeah.
You look like are you who is that? Sonny Sonny and Cher.
Yeah.
Sonny. There he is. He's the other guy.
Hold on, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sonny. Oh no, that's right. He used to be a governor or mayor or something, right?
This is more Sonny and Cher if my hair was longer.
There you go.
Longer.
You got it.
Yeah. Anyway, well, good to see you, Gray. Have a
you
good
too.
night.
Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Hey, Chickbait came on. All right. That was pretty funny. It was Sonny, Bono, and Cher. Or maybe it was the My Pillow guy, or I don't even know. He didn't look like any of them, really, just had the mustache. And thanks, Curly Lock Diva, for the wait, hold on, we got Alan McMahon, the local what do you call him? The Kohberger investigator.
Boo, Gray, boo-hoo. I can't believe you see BK's guilty. He only admitted it. I'm just never going to look for trail again. You're so bad against BK. What's your problem?
Yeah, he's the guy that recorded that little clip of mine. That was like, what the hell was it? I don't even remember it now, but it was funny. We played it like 10 times now on the show.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I sent it to you on Facebook.
Yeah. There's a big.
Yeah,
where
you were on? What show is Vinny on?
Oh, Court TV. Yeah.
Court TV, and you went, "Oh no, I'm never watching you again, Gray."
Yeah, that's right. That's
Vinny.
right. Yeah, let's see. What was it? I can't believe you had Gray on. I'm never watching again. You know, the best part was you laughing in the background.
I don't do that.
When you recorded. Yeah, you're kind of on a delay or something. Like you're.
Yeah, I think it's my microphone. Let me.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the PBs, man, I just can't believe it, man. They're just doubling down. The fact all this evidence means absolutely nothing. BK's innocent, and they're like OJ. They're going to find the real killer. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Except OJ didn't even admit it. This guy did. Signed a document.
That's a good point. They showed these videos of like former judges saying how people that are innocent confess, but I don't think these people that confessed had DNA against them, their own DNA, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's. I know it's been like you spent a lot of time watching just for the almost like the humor value, right? Like you're the Kohberger investigator. Yeah.
So now, I don't know. I don't know how YouTube works because I know, like you said, during your lives, it doesn't generate a lot of money, and I know, like, I know you don't like names mentioned on your YouTube, but like JE and the guy across the pond,
Mm-hmm.
they do very little lives. So, and you mentioned before, like you don't generate a lot of money during lives. I think you
Yeah.
told us in the previous.
Well, I mean, live streams used to be where it used to. Well, it's still, there's just bad days that you didn't used to ever happen, but it does better than, mostly video. So if you put a video out and you get like, I don't know, 30 to 40,000 views, it might make $220 or something. But on when the channel's doing well and people are supporting it, we make more sometimes on the live streams. And then if you can combine them, that makes it so at the end of the month, that's where I can donate the thousands of dollars. But it's hard to, when you have a video that does bad and then the live stream doesn't do well, then it's a struggle,
Yeah, I got you. So I'm wondering because both those channels they never ask for donations, but I'm wondering if they're making money just based on the volume of people who watch that channel because they put
Yeah.
out tons of crap, man.
Yeah, they just put out 1,000,000 videos and it's conspiratorial and everybody wants to watch. And they don't have to ask because they're not even doing live streams. They're not doing live streams. They're doing videos. And if they can get like 20 to 30,000 views, they can probably do okay, depending on how much time of the video. Like if you make a video that's 20 minutes long and you got 15,000 views, but they watch 15 minutes of it. Well, then that's pretty good. Like that's that video might make $300 or something, So I don't know. They just have a huge fan base of people that are just as conspiratorial nutters as they are.
Yeah.
And it's just everything that comes, they just want to watch it. Like where, when you have factual information, people are like, yeah. Okay. That's facts. Okay. For some reason, it's not as interesting. Pretty weird. Anyways, that's all. I didn't have anything else to say there, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know what the problem is. We got a serious feedback issue. I don't know what it is.
Oh wait, do you have YouTube open?
Oh yeah, actually I do.
Yeah, you got to close that down.
Close all of YouTube or just your channel?
You can just turn the volume off on YouTube, and then it should.
I think
work.
it's a lot better now. Yes.
Yeah, we didn't have any feedback, but how's it for you?
Now, here's the problem: was I had your channel open? I think.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So.
Yeah, so it's just like these people. It's like, wait a minute, man. I understand the part where, it's hard to believe that innocent people are pleading guilty, but I doubt highly innocent people who had their DNA. I'm sorry, non-innocent people who had their DNA at the crime scene, who bought the crime knife, who bought the crime sheath, who had their car videotaped, surround or just going around endlessly in the neighborhood. I doubt they were really, really innocent. It's just amazing, man.
Well, but there's, I mean, that's not even like a doubt. I mean, the thing is this person, he's admitting guilt because he's the killer. I mean, and absolutely knows that he has no chance given the information that law enforcement has laid out. They've seen it in the documents, the discovery, and they just know that, they tried all their best. I've said it like this. I think Ann Taylor's been trying to get him to plea for a long time.
Off the table.
Yeah, because she's seen the writing on the wall, and she's tried all these different tactics to delay so that he doesn't have to go to prison longer. And then when she did her last Hail Marys, try to, make the, extend the date of the trial out, and then also the third-party suspects, and when those all collapse, you could actually see it on their faces when the judge said it's likely the trial's going to happen.
Oh, you mean Guilt or Judge Hypner?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think it was shortly after he confessed, and I agree with you totally. Where, dude, if I were him, take me to the death gallows now. In fact, I can do it right now. If you think I'm 30 years old and I want to spend the rest of my life in a maximum security prison, no, just take me out now, man. That's just crazy.
Except he decided not to do that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but see, the thing is he's a loner anyways. Kind of a, just.
Yeah, he's a peculiar dude for sure.
Yeah, he's sort of like he'd be sort of, I think he reminds me of Adam Lanza a little bit. Just the way he's just kind of, and he's a weirdo, man. I mean, just watching him in that last hearing.
It's so hard. It's so hard for these. I mean, for me to say of course you know about this, but it's like, oh no, he had to have help. There's no way he could have done it in that amount of time. And then when you play those videos where it's just dead silent for like 8 minutes,
mm-hmm.
I mean, that is way more than enough time to do this.
Yeah, and then
especially when you're sleeping.
Right, in one of the hearings, they actually said that they timed it out. They actually did a walkthrough, and the law enforcement did, and they said that 2 minutes at the quickest, and then 4 minutes is kind of where they, between 2 and 4 minutes is what they said. And
this is where the Kohbergers are hypocrites, because they say, oh, well, law enforcement, they knew the layout of the house. Well, the Kohbergers say the same thing. They say the killer must have had to known the layout of the house. And that might be partially true based upon how many times Kohberger stalked them. I'm sure he knew who lived in what room, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but you could also look at it like, even if he didn't, I think he knew exactly where Madison Mogen's room was, because he's parked back there. You could see the stairs, and he went right, and then there's a kitchen there. So when he went in, he was able to, okay, there's the stairs. He goes up. And then if he followed Xana, he just followed through the room and attack her. He didn't have to know where that was.
For sure, Ethan was collateral damage, for sure.
Yeah, I think all of them. I actually think every single person other than Madison Mogen was. Like, Kaylee wasn't supposed to be in the bed, so she woke up and started fighting, and then she got killed. The sound of that alerted Xana, and then she heard something, and then it all just snowballed out of control.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I think, too. I mean, it's just amazing how the Kohbergers are just, I mean, I'm like, whatever, man. The guy freaking confessed. And now they're saying, oh, no, he was forced to confess to save his family over what, man? From what? And then
they didn't have to testify about what they said on the phone call. But then
who knows what they said? I mean,
here's what's weird, though. The Kohbergers are saying he's confessing so that they don't have to say what was on the phone call. Well, then even the Kohbergers must think that what was on that phone call would make them feel was bad and guilty, so they're idiots. It's like,
well, yeah, see, I never thought about that. That's a good point, because my thought was always, there's no way Kohberger confessed to his parents that he committed the murders.
Yeah,
I don't think that happened at all.
Yeah, but I think they might have thought he was weird, like he was different or something. Later.
Well, the guy across the pond, I've said this to you before. Apparently in Britain, it's quite normal for Gray Hughes to throw your trash in your neighbor's garbage can. That's quite normal in England. So to him, it was no big deal that KB was throwing his trash in his neighbor's bin.
So he's, I guess he's Britain now.
Yeah, exactly.
He has a little ancestry. They went and looked at his ancestry.com and saw that he had a little British.
The thing that really irritates me about that guy is he keeps saying he's a middle of the roader guy.
Yeah.
When every single bazillion videos he's posted has always been pro Kohberger, not one for the DA or the prosecution, not one.
Right, and then somebody commented underneath his comments and said something like, "Man, you were wrong the whole time." He goes, "How was it wrong? I believed and he's innocent until proven guilty." It's like, dude, you didn't make one video on showing how the evidence was so damning against.
Well, according to him himself, the evidence was shite, And the only way he would believe BK was guilty was to see a video of him entering the house. You know, one of his
Right.
spitballing theories. Okay.
Spitball. Yeah, he said that all the time.
Yeah, I don't know. So, do these guys? I mean, here's what galls me, man. I mean, I guess are they making money off this stuff? These videos?
Well, yeah, the videos. Yeah, they're videos that they're putting out. Yeah, for sure. Like their videos get like 25, 30,000 views every single time. Not maybe 10. You know, like 10 to 25,000 views, and yes, those make money. It's crazy. Yeah. So.
Well, and then of course, and I'll let you go here soon because you might have other people, but I keep busting JE, and he never responds to anything. And I'm like, man, what is this, like the 100th time you solve this crime? How many more times you solve this crime? Because he's got different scenarios, different theories, different suspects, different vehicles,
Right.
Aryan Nation, blah, blah, blah. And it just never ends.
You know, it kind of reminds me of Kohberger. When they were all excited, these pro-burgers. Ooh, he's got alternate suspects. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And you know, the thing is why is there 4 alternate suspects that all are unrelated to each other? See, what that means is you're just throwing darts at a wall and you're just hoping something sticks. And this is what the JE guy does. That's all he does.
Well, no, exactly. And if from my understanding, Hitler's like, listen, these 4 people you're suggesting as alternate perpetrators, they've already been investigated by the police. And I don't know, a combination thereof, there was no DNA, or they had strong alibis or whatever. I don't know. That's kind of sort of the understanding that I got. I don't know if that's actually factual, but that's what I understood.
Yeah, and I think they even had already tested their DNA too.
Oh,
and it didn't match anything.
Oh, Gray, listen, man, the law enforcement behind this, okay?
That's right. Yeah, that's right. And then see, that's always what the last resort is, Alan. It's the last resort always is. It's a cover up. You know, once you go through all these things and you get to the last point, then it's a cover up by the police. And then
it's like, okay, so why would the police do this? A small town like Moscow, Idaho. What would be the advantage of them doing this? Okay, it makes absolutely no sense. And I tell the pro-burgers, it's really simple. This is my honest to God assessment. Is Pro-burger's a psycho? He's a nutter. He did this for whatever reason, and he actually thought he'd get away with it. It's that simple.
No, yeah, I think. Well, I mean, that's my theory. Is he went in there to kill Madison Mogan only? He was going to kill her, and I think, you know, I always say it, but he was going to leave the knife sheath there as a little calling card because he wanted to do all the cool serial killer stuff. And his mistake is he didn't clean it well enough because he missed a spot on the bottom of the button snap. You know, it wasn't on the top of the button snap where the where the DNA was. It was on the underside. Hey, by the way, you don't normally wear a visor and an Under Armour shirt, do you? I mean, you look
like New York Yankees visor.
Or are you trying to look? I know, but then you got the Under Armour shirt.
And I like Under Armour, man. I got Under Armour shoes, everything, man.
Yeah, they fit.
Under Armour's great, man.
Yeah, I love the way they fit. But people think like, hey, they look the same. Look at that.
Yeah, but the difference is, this is actually a Nike cap, I think.
Yeah.
So, do you think this? And I'll let you. I keep saying I'll let you go, but do you think discovery will, or once the gag order is lifted, do you think there'll be a lot more that comes out? What do you think?
Oh, I think a ton of stuff will come out after the gag orders. I don't know. I hope they just release the documents out on that website, but that's more of a court site. So,
you talk about the actual Idaho Gov site?
Yeah, I would wish that they would release all of the discovery, you know, so people can dig through and see what they had, the stuff that
it's kind of ironic because in hindsight, and I kind of thought this a long time ago. Initially, I kind of sort of understood why they had a gag order, but in hindsight, it ended up being their Achilles heel because this is what created just all this tons of speculation. The fact that that's what I personally believe. If they would have just had things released, you know, as they came out, I think it would have squashed a lot of the speculation.
Yeah, except the Kohbergers just would have taken that and then twisted it around to mean
Yeah,
something.
I mean, that's true, but I mean, some of them maybe would have been squashed. Maybe I don't
Right.
know.
They might not have had a big a crowd, I guess.
Well, like Clown Man. Again, talk about misleading clickbait titles. I'm sorry, video comes out in 8 hours from now, something like that, right? And I was just curious. I thought maybe he'd say, "Man, I'm sorry, I was wrong." Oh hell no, man! He doubled down and said how Kohberger's innocent. The state didn't prove anything. All their evidence was bogus. It was corrupt. And oh my god, man! You got to be kidding me, man!
Oh yeah, no.
Because he's wearing a stupid clown suit. Well, I sent you that message I sent to him, man. All right. I told him he should video himself with some clown shoes on and making balloons into animals.
Yeah, but he. So what? The other one, the JE guy, didn't he say something like he put out a video saying, "Oh man, it looks like he did it" or something, and then everybody got angry.
Yeah, he was silent for like 3 days,
Uh-huh.
and then he came out and he said, "I'm paraphrasing, but I got a gut blow, but I came to my senses, and now he's tripling down. He's tripling down, saying."
Yeah, now he's saying it's his job to prove that he's innocent.
Yeah, he's OJ Jr., okay?
His job as a true crime YouTuber, but that's what he's not, is to put out the factual information and, wherever those chips may land, that's where you go.
Well, I wish I had $1 for each time he quote unquote assured his audience that this, that, and the other was going to happen. I mean, he's convinced. I'm sure you saw the video, the chambering of a gun. That was part of the murder crew. Do you remember that or no?
Oh yeah, that he heard there was sound or something in the, parking lot. Yeah.
Well, at first he said it was a handgun. Then he said it was like a semi-assault rifle.
Right. You could hear it chambered. Everybody kept coming. Great. Did you hear the chambering? And no, because there isn't one. And there's like
I heard something, but it just sounded like something mechanical. Who knows?
Yeah. It's just a mechanical sound. It's not a gun being chambered. It's just, but then it's like, then there's this car, and then they say that the guy threw the knife in there, and then look, here comes the pickup guy, and
don't forget the green Elantra, okay?
Yeah, the lime green Elantra.
Well, not only that, okay, and real quick, if it was a airing hit job, right? I highly doubt they would have left anybody alive. Period. So it wasn't an Aaron Nation hit job because there were 2 survivors. Or if it was any sort of hit job.
Yeah, but the thing is with me, it's like I don't even have to think through that. It's like,
I know what you mean.
Of course, it's not an Aryan.
Of course, yes, I know. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to go to the end of the logic here. Okay.
Right. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, and then the whole drug. Yeah, especially if it was a drug deal payback. There isn't a soul that's living in that house.
Of course. It's just whether they're not part of the problem or not. It's just collateral damage, man. Yeah. You're not going to leave any potential witness alive. Period. So anyway.
Yeah.
Look, man, I'll let you go, and we'll talk again, buddy.
Well, we're going to keep doing it until we get all the facts of this.
Well, listen, I think that's great because, I mean, I don't know, man. Do you think he'll ever come clean, BK, as far as giving like?
Well, I think that he actually. That's what they're doing right now. I think.
I think so too. Yes.
I think that's what Bill Thompson was saying when he said, "Yeah, we just need to keep the gag order because we want to make sure that we have all the facts in a row." And I think that's what that is. That was part of their agreement. And even though he's already signed something, that's part of their agreement, and he's going to explain everything. And I think he has to do that. If he's not doing that, then he's pathetic, because that means he didn't get the answers for the family.
You're talking about Bill Thompson.
Yeah. He'd be pathetic. If he doesn't get the actual answers, and he doesn't even get where did you put the knife? Then that's just bullshit, Well,
I thought the same thing because all the Kohbergers saying, "Gee, we didn't even get this." I'm like, man, just give it a couple more weeks and maybe we'll find out,
Yeah, and also these investigators, as soon as that gag order is lifted, there's going to be leaks coming out every 2 seconds, man. I mean, I think Daily Mail will have everything on there like in 3 seconds. There's going to be tons of stuff. There's going to be The body camera footage is coming out.
Body
tons.
cam. What's that? What's
Well,
body
the
cam?
different stuff like probably. I bet you when he was arrested. Here's the holy grail. When he was arrested in the kitchen, those guys obviously had body cameras on.
Oh,
And
like
he's
supposedly
got
his
the gloves
underwear
on.
with gloves on.
Yeah, and then also there's I think it's 820 something, 821 traffic stop. That's the one that shows that he's missing a front plate, and so that one's never been put out there. Just things like that, and I really hope that they've interviewed him, and maybe someday that will come out. That would be incredible. Like a literal.
Well, I do too, because I mean, if BK gave, I mean, I don't even know if there's a motive, but if he gave some kind of motive, or even just gave in pretty intricate detail of how he did it, I think that would help.
Yeah. I mean, I think he just did it because he wanted to, basically wanted to see what it was like, and he also had anger towards, these hot girls who get to be with these guys, but he doesn't get to be one of them. And he killed him, and then when he went home, he's like, "Yeah, it felt good." He put his little thumbs up.
Do you think he would have done it again? I mean, put it this way.
Oh yeah.
Do you think if they hadn't found the DNA, what do you think?
Oh yeah, his DNA is what arrested him, but I just think he was going to leave a knife sheath there, and I think he was going to commit other murders and either leave a knife sheath or another item associated at the scene at each one of these places, and he was just going to keep going and going and going. That's why his thumbs up means he felt good about it.
And then when you think about it in hindsight, that picture is that much more eerie because of the fact that was only about 6 hours after the murders. Okay.
Right. And only about an hour and a half, or maybe even
after he got home.
Yeah, maybe only 30 something minutes. I mean, like, see, he got there, he was in there at 9:14, and then he was sort of back in the area at 9:32. So it was probably only like 45 minutes after he got home.
And then after that, at the end of the day, he confesses to 4 murders, man.
Mm-hmm. And so now he's going. See, yeah. I mean, I guess it's always meant the same to me, but I could see how, like, if you were watching it and you weren't sure, you might have a different thought. But now that you know that he did it for certain, that he signed it,
I know.
He's going like this, then it's like, okay, well, he's.
And then did they hear Bill Thompson say that basically his apartment, there was nothing there, and his car was like basically interiorly disassembled with a jar or a bucket or some sort of cleaning liquid.
I mean, when is that what it was like when they actually found it?
That's what he said. He didn't actually say specifically, but he said when they got the warrant for the car, he said this in his what's it called? Where he's basically going through give me a general overview of the.
He said looked like it was basically disassembled from the inside,
from the interior. Yeah.
I just was wondering if that's how they found it. Did it look like it had been disassembled, or was it literally apart?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he didn't specify. So what do you think? Do you think one of his sisters called law enforcement and said, "Hey, I think my brother may have done this"? Yeah,
there's people that think he called the FBI. The sister called the FBI.
I've heard that. Yeah, exactly. I don't know if that's correct or not, but it wouldn't, 50-50. It wouldn't surprise me if that happened or didn't happen.
Yeah, and I could totally see it. I also think when he was driving home, I mean, it's hard to say what his behavior would have been like, because I think that was the tip to him, that when he got pulled over twice, that there's something going on that is.
Yeah, he got pulled over twice within like 20 minutes or something.
Yeah,
like that.
And that must have been where he thought, okay, they've got my DNA, and that's when he started really, like, at home cleaning the car, doing with the gloves. He wouldn't have been doing that if he hadn't been pulled over twice.
So here's another thing too, though, because they make a big deal about him changing his registration from Pennsylvania to Washington. Mm-hmm. But from what I heard, I don't know if this is correct or not, but I heard that his Pennsylvania plates were scheduled to expire within the time frame that he registered his car to Washington.
Well, I'd make a big deal about it because I think he timed the murders to that.
Oh, I see. Okay, that makes sense.
I think because he 5 days later he got the new plates, so it's like, okay, boom, he knew that.
Okay, so even though they were expiring within a week or so, maybe 2 weeks,
right? That's probably when he
timed it toward that. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, he didn't want to commit the homicides with his new plates. That would be kind of like, then he,
Well, yeah, no, I mean, it's like, why would you be looking for a white Elantra Hyundai with only one license plate when this one's got two?
right, exactly. So he timed it where his would have a different look and everything after, but it's
Yeah, that's a good
kind of
point.
odd. I mean, so what he was kind of banking on them not getting the actual plate numbers on any surveillance cameras because it would still lead back to him, right? It would have been a Pennsylvania Bryan Kohberger.
The pro burgers make a big deal out of oh my god, he was signal out, okay? And it's like, well, no, it's just called basic law enforcement 101, meaning we think it's a white Elantra from this date to this date as far as years, okay? And it was just police work where like Washington State University security checked their enrollment who's got a white Elantra, okay? And lo and behold, Bryan Kohberger was one of them.
Yeah, well, two officers on the 29th, I think, of November stumbled upon the same Elantra on the Pullman, Washington campus. They were driving around, and they marked it down and said, "Oh, that's Kohberger's." They didn't say it's him. I mean, they said, "Here's a white Elantra registered to a guy named Bryan Kohberger."
Right.
Well,
to the pro burgers, see, that's just part of the frame up, okay? It's
yeah.
No.
The only thing is about that is they hadn't even got the DNA results for.
Yeah, they had no idea what Bryan Kohberger was.
Right. It was way after that. I think it was like in December 15th or something is when the hit came back. So
yeah, and then they're making a big deal too about, and I explained to some of my friends how the FBI, they didn't violate law, they just violated policy by going into these databases and getting a potential DNA profile.
I think it was on MyHeritage. MyHeritage is like Ancestry and it's like 23andMe. It's a big database. It's the only one, however, that allows you to upload raw data. Normally, these sites
like if you got a DNA, you could upload it yourself.
Yeah, well, no, here's the thing. The way it works is you spit into a tube and you send it off to 23andMe and Ancestry and even MyHeritage, and they, they put your DNA in there and they give you all your matches and stuff, and then 23andMe and Ancestry allow you to download your raw data
into their database.
No, just download it and you can upload it to a place like GEDmatch. They don't let you.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
They don't let you upload it back to them. But MyHeritage, they're the only one out of the major, the bigger ones that allow you to take, let's say, a raw data file from 23andMe and you can actually upload it to them. So the same way, law enforcement, when they have an unknown DNA sample, they use this company called Bioinformatics, and they're actually able to format a DNA sample without having to spit into
so they could get like a general profile.
They can make it into a raw data file that you could then upload to GEDmatch. But in this case, they could upload it to MyHeritage. That's what's breaking their policy because law enforcement was who uploaded it there, and now they had access to 8 million people,
right,
as opposed to 1 million or so on GEDmatch.
And of course, the same pro burgers, they would love nothing more than to have a guilty person like Kohberger get off on a technicality.
I know that's what's always bugged me. It's like, you guys. So I mean, if it's him, right? So why are you? It's a tip that you're trying to find a technicality to get him off. A guy that killed 4 college students. It's so weird how they're looking for those kinds of things. Like you love him so much, he's.
Well, and real quick, back to the roommates. I mean, I've experienced this personally, being in combat, where I've seen soldiers, and I'm not saying this happened to the 2 surviving roommates or whatever, but I've experienced shell shock with young soldiers, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And they are literally incapable for 12, 24, 36 hours of doing anything. And I'm not saying that's what happened to these 2 young ladies, but to me, I think it's totally plausible.
Yeah, well, thank you.
They were freaked out and they didn't know what was going on.
Well, thank you for your service, by the way.
Well, thank you, but I mean,
yeah, no, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, I've always thought, and I try to use my own life examples, like when I was a kid with this. I told the Bigfoot story in a tent, where I thought there was a Bigfoot out there.
Well, yeah, I remember that.
I
Yeah.
was like curled up in a ball, and I'm just like, oh my god, and you just can't move. You're like frozen, which is probably way less than what you're talking about. But you can see that people just act differently in different situations.
Well, and again, I mean, the thing that really upsets me about that is, I'm not saying all Kohbergers, but enough of them not only imply but flat out state that they're part of the murder spree. They're part of the they're behind the scenes part of it. It's like, you got to be kidding me, man. I mean, these two young gals were investigated to no ends. I'm certain of that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they were looked at the beginning, but they absolutely have nothing to do with it. I mean, it's just it's one of those things where it's always bugged me. I'll even say to people, hey, listen, do you think that they have something to do with this? Those things where it's always it says, do you think they have anything to do with it? And they go, no. Then I say, well, then why the hell do you keep talking about them? Because what relevance do they have if they have nothing to do with it? Well, I just think it's really weird that they didn't, call 911 for 8. Well, okay, but you just said a minute ago that you don't think they have anything to do with it. Well, so why do you keep saying it that way? See, that means they think that there's something. They're just lying.
Hey, real quick, and I'm sorry, I keep saying I'm gonna let you go, but JM, he's got it figured out again that this was a deal done at least 1 month ago, perhaps 2 months ago, behind closed doors, and KB's going to a mental institution instead of a real prison.
I don't think they would ever.
Have you heard about that or no?
I don't think they'd ever agree to something like that.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But I mean, JE, he's got everything figured out. Yeah, but the only problem with him is he's got 100 different scenarios. Okay.
Yeah, but that one right there is weird because now he's admitting he's guilty, but he had a mental problem, right? I mean,
now JE now says, okay, maybe he now JE is now kind of sort of saying, okay, maybe BK's part of it, but there's other people involved.
I see.
It's like, what?
And at least he's admitting then. That's what the kind of the out is. I just heard that the other day too. Somebody said in my comments, well, I think he, that's what he said. And then he got in trouble for it because he said, I think he's involved, but there's other people involved too. And people are like, no, he didn't, Jay. No, he didn't. And then he came back and said, well, it's my job to prove he's innocent. Like he got scolded, right? Or I haven't watched. I don't know all the information, but that's how it went, right?
Yeah, you're true. Because now you're right. Because now he's come full circle to where, just like Clown Man, he's completely innocent.
Yeah, I guess apparently it's a clone. Is that what you were saying? The Clown Man said.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
not a clone, but like it's not him that was in there.
And this is a guy when this first went down. Who, and I know I've told you this before, where he thought BK was the DoorDash driver. And so he went to make the delivery and he saw the front door ajar and then went inside, saw the homicides, freaked out, ran outside to his car, took off. And even though he's a PhD student in criminology, didn't talk to anybody, tell anybody anything until he was arrested 6 weeks later.
Wow.
I mean, ting tong, crazy.
Well, you know what he said way back at the beginning, and I don't really watch him that much. Just when somebody goes, "Great, have you seen this?" But I remember at the beginning he would sort of make fun of me. He'd make videos making fun of me and stuff. And
oh yeah, other people have too.
Yeah, a lot of people do. And then you got the what did he say? He said something about that Kohberger was parked behind the house. And he was there. He was there as a peeping tom, and then he witnessed the homicide, and then he was like, "Oh wow, holy shit!"
But he didn't tell anybody.
At a high rate of speed because he was.
But he didn't tell anybody.
Right, because he thought he'd get in trouble because his car was driving.
He was only a PhD student in criminology at WSU,
Yeah.
Oh, Gray, I'm never watching your channel again. You talk bad about Clown Man.
Yeah, I do have a lot of people that make fun of me and stuff, but it's okay.
No, you're good, man. You're good, dude. I'm telling you, man. I've told you this before. I'm not blowing smoke up your butt, man. But one of the things that's so different between your channel and especially within this case, but I can say I've watched some of your other coverage on other cases, so I would say it's across the board. Is you show actual analysis based on, like, for example, PCAs, okay?
Mhm.
Where all the other guys, they just read basically like newspaper quotes or articles, where you're showing like actual analysis. Okay, based on the time frame, this is what I think happened. Okay, blah 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 blah.
Right.
And of course, the other channels are like, "Oh no, because it's not accurate." I mean, they're basically their excuse is it's all a lie because law enforcement's fibbing. Law enforcement's setting this person up. It's like,
Yeah. Right.
I mean,
I
could
just
you imagine what it would take to do that?
And you can use you can use newspaper too. Like if you've got like ABC News or somebody who's putting an article on Kohberger, I'm sure they have pretty good, so you can take some of that. But when you use documents, then you really have like the investigative information, and then you can speculate reasonably using that information. I think that's kind of the key to everything.
Well, like when you did that one video where you were breaking down BK's car movements based on like his headlights beaming off of homes, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The guy across the pond was saying, "This is BS. This could be any car." Basically, that was that's what I mean. He was basically saying, and I'm like, no, law enforcement already looked into this, man. Okay.
Yeah, and not only that, they have what you never see in the media, and you didn't see it on the Dateline, was the 1330 Linda Lane footage. I mean, that thing is amazing. It shows the car coming around behind, right? So law enforcement has that footage. So they see it coming around, and then just based on the timing, that the lights coming around are going to hit 11.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, and by the way, there's no other car that they saw that went across that intersection, okay? There's only one, all right? It was BK's.
Yeah. One thing that's bothering me now still is like that 1320 Linda Lane camera that shows the Elantra driving by at 329:46 or so, 48. It's on Taylor Avenue. That's it. It goes to 329, and then even the version they put out online is missing from 330 to 405. Like the exact important point.
35 minutes?
Yeah, there's this 35 minutes of missing time out of a 5-hour surveillance footage that's online, and it's missing 330 to 405, and it seems to actually match the documents that law enforcement put out, because when the car drove back at 401 to drive by Ridge Road, it would have driven by there, and it doesn't show up on there. It also doesn't show up on these 2 or 3 times where it didn't go into the facility, into the complex. But, I don't know. It's just kind of weird. I want to know the answer. Do they just not, is that a real thing that's missing? I mean, what are the odds that 330 to 405 is missing? That's just freaking crazy.
This is where the pro burgers will just dial in, potentially.
Yeah. I'm trying to think that it's weird, though. It helps Kohberger, because it's missing a couple of the footage pieces that would have gone by.
Oh,
so it actually helps him.
I don't know if you saw it or not, but a couple of days ago, JE still back to him and the other BK on the morning question. They were at whatever it is, Walolu Park or whatever.
Wawawe.
Yeah, it's like, you got to be kidding me, man.
Oh, they're using Wawawe Park still? Jeez. Man.
Oh yeah, seriously, he is, dude. He is. He is. He absolutely is.
Yeah, I actually went there when I was just there a couple of days ago. 2 days ago, I drove to Wawawe Park. It's kind of a cool drive along the river there. It's, I mean, you could throw that knife anywhere from.
Oh my God, that area is all that whole area. It's like Cowtown. Yeah. Man. It's so rural. You can put it anywhere, man.
Yeah, I mean, when you drive from Clarkston to Wawawe Park, you're just driving along the river. So after you went to Albertsons, it's possible you drove all the way down to Wawawe Park and threw it in there, and that just sort of roughly, hey, it was at Wawawe when he tells
the big river, but who knows?
Yeah, maybe it is. I don't know what.
I mean,
it's like a confluence.
I would have just had a pre-dug hole dug somewhere, like for example that you talk about. There's like a 15-minute gap.
Yeah. There's a lot of places you can put it anywhere. Just dig a little. All you have to do is dig a hole that's like 3 inches wide and like a foot deep. Put it in
Especially
there,
in the country, man.
and just put a little rock and make it look the same. And you're never finding that thing. You know.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if, like you say, if he's cooperating and giving investigators like detailed information on the who, what, wow, and how, why and how. That'll be very interesting. And hopefully, if that's the case, hopefully that's happening. Hopefully, it'll come out and put all the naysayers to bed, man.
Yeah,
but even then, they'll say, "Oh no, he was coerced, Gray. He was coerced. He was forced to say these things."
Yeah, and then see, that's why it's so important that Thompson gets where he put the knife.
Yeah. It would be awesome if that's the case, and they could. Well, you'd have to have like freaking like video and everything of them locating the knife.
That's true. You have to film them locating because they would say, they bought a knife on Amazon and planted it. Okay. Yeah, it just never ends, man. Never ends.
Yeah. All right, man. Listen, I've been taking up enough of your time, man. I'll let you go.
All right.
Someone else will call.
It was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Nice chatting with you, man.
All right, man. We'll have a beer next time you're around. All right. See you later.
Adios, man. Bye.
Bye. All right. Man, we've hit a massive lull in here, you guys. We could have one of those good nights. If you're out there and you want to help support the channel, that'd be awesome for the final stretches in here. Let's see, we've got the... oh, yeah, somebody donated 5 up there. It was... I did 5. We Say Howdy Here did 5. And... where are those 4? Because we had Chickbait on, John Dunn. Let's see. I was disappointed in the process. Yeah. Well, I'm only disappointed in the prosecution if they didn't get that information. Okay. If they did not get the story from Bryan Kohberger and they did not get where the knife was put, then he sucks. Okay. I have faith, though, that he got that information. All right? But if it turns out that he didn't do that, then he's just a pile of crap at that point. And that's just the truth. I can't tell you anything else. That means you didn't get the answers that the family deserved, and you're relying on what your investigators are going to say, but that's not, they need to take what he says and what the investigator says and put it together and see if it makes sense. I can't understand. I know he did 5 earlier. Who are you, Pink Diamond? Have you commented all night? Or were you just waiting to make another one of those comments? Oh, I was still talking. Okay, thanks. Not that you had to do that. I was just... Yeah, you convinced her to go up there. I was like, okay. I think it was a plea. It was bad plea from what the docs... I honestly don't think it was the plea. It was the bad... I don't know what you're saying, Cassandra. That doesn't make sense to me. It's always weird when somebody comes in and they try to correct something you said after they haven't been here the entire night. So it makes you wonder what their ultimate goal was, It's always strange. Let's see. I'll be shocked if Thompson comes through. Really? You'll be shocked if he did get that information? I think I'd be more shocked if he didn't. Yeah, the legend, John Dunn. I saw him earlier. He said he's famous because of my channel. All right. Yeah, I miss a lot of stuff when I'm doing the show. That's for sure. One Night in Idaho on Amazon. Yeah, I'll watch that. Oh, now you're gonna... Oh, Jesus. So Paulette pretends to say hi because they hadn't said a word all night. Yeah. Yeah, cool. Glad you liked it. Maybe we should have more call-in shows, you know. But that one person never called back again, even though we figured out the answer. Thompson doesn't seem to read any room. I don't think the plea required BK to give any information. Well, we don't know if it did or not, Cassandra. You know, it doesn't say it on the paper. He may have asked for it before, and that's what led to it. You know, we don't know how it all went down. It doesn't say on a piece of paper. It might have just been spoken. Just the facts, right? Yeah. You learn to focus on the facts here. Just the facts, right? Or right. Is that a question? Or yeah. That's what we do, man. You know that, John Dunn. John Dunn's been around here for years. I mean, you can see he's got the sheriff badge. I see him too in some of the political realms. You know, we're in the same ballpark there. Okay, cool, Pink Diamond. I've seen you before. I just hadn't seen you say any words tonight. Hey, thanks, Curly Lock Diva. Good night, Paulette Leonard. Just saw that up there. Oh, well, he doesn't know, Christy. I mean, how would he know the answer to that question? If they didn't, man, what a I would never forgive. I mean, I'm not in the position to even get to that level, but if I was a family member, I'd never forgive Bill Thompson for that. To not make that part of it. I mean, it's just so stupid. Well, I don't know if they would know. They're not going to say. I don't know. It sounds like they didn't really have very good communication there. I don't think they would know. Let's see. I guess we'll have to wait and see, though. But man, that's man. I'll actually go off on him on a show if he doesn't. If he does not get that for the families, I will just absolutely obliterate. I mean, that's just disgusting. He should. I mean, he should be absolutely ashamed of himself if he did that. I guess I must too, John. I see you in the same places. I don't know, but if he doesn't know, who does? 2 weeks is going to feel like forever. Well, let's see. Yeah, I guess it's 2 weeks from now, isn't it? 14 days. Absolutely crazy. Okay, well, I didn't know that. I didn't see a comment tonight, though, Pink Diamond. So I was just wondering how you jumped in for that one. I guess you're just that observant. Man, maybe you should be a detective. But I have had trolls in here that sit around and they wait and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait for just some kind of a error of some sort, and they jump on it like really. Yeah, cool, Tori Wells. Do you guys like having the having a call-in, you know, or a link? I guess that link was on the top of the page. Yeah, I hope they give an impact. Well, that would be awesome, because if they don't get that extra information, I think Steve is going to blow up in his impact statement. And If Thompson did not get that information, he would deserve every word that Steve Gonzalez says. Okay? I mean, what do you guys think? What would you feel like if you got a dumbass prosecutor who makes a deal and doesn't get the answers that all the family deserves, and they just did it for saving money purposes or whatever the hell reason it is? I think it's disgusting. It's not their right to decide. I mean, I guess it is they're technical, but in some ways it's not their right to not give the family the opportunity to get answers. I know Steve did say that before, but Lisa just said they're reconsidering it. You know, he might have said that because he was really angry that day. I bet you over time he's going to want to say something for his daughter. You know. Thank you, Cassandra. Thank you for all your hard work and sharing information with us. Many cases. Yeah, I mean, I tell you what, if that is the case, I will absolutely be angry and flabbergasted, I guess. I don't even use that term, but it sounds like a good one at the time. No, it's actually pretty stupid, Missy Six. Yeah. It's pretty stupid. There's no way in hell he would have walked. I could see him not getting the death penalty, though, and then he would have got... there's no way in hell he would have walked. And it's actually really stupid. Your comment, I think it's actually pretty smart, is idiotic. Okay. Absolutely is not smart whatsoever. You know, the plea deal isn't stupid. I'm talking about the part regarding not getting the other information. And if Kohberger doesn't want to say what he did, then why do the plea deal? He must think there's a chance something will change. See, and that's why he's stupid. Because here's what Kohberger's banking on: that someday maybe a lefty judge will come in there and change things up and say it's just not nice to not give somebody the chance to appeal. What if something comes along that's really in, and they take away that part of the provision, and then he gets some other sucker in there, and then he gets parole and he gets out. All right. But if he has to say what he did and point out where the knife is, his chance of getting out, well, is zero on parole. All right. And see, that's where this, he's being an idiot. Okay. It's an actually stupid move technically, because he could have got the full details of what happened and, you know, where the knife is. And if he threw it in the river and he takes you to where it was, and that what it should have been part of the stipulation was, take us where you put in the river. We're going to dredge the river with magnets for 2 weeks. If we do not find the sheath, there's no deal. Or we don't find the knife, there's no deal. Okay. And then maybe you say, as soon as we find the knife, then you can tell us what you did. And we'll know if you're telling the truth or not. And if it doesn't match the factual elements, then no deal. I mean, you can do that, right? There's no way you can't do that. It's simple. The judge has the, he thinks he will get compassionate release, or, yeah, right, Christy. So it's not really what I'm talking about. Maybe we misunderstood each other. The deal itself isn't stupid. But if there isn't a side deal that was made where Kohberger has to give the information of where he put the knife and where the and how he did the crime, then he's an idiot. Okay? Because that's the part that solidifies the future. And by the way, I hope anybody in there that's a Democrat didn't get offended when I said some lefty judge, because even you realize that they're the judges that make those weird decisions like that, right? Okay, thanks. Bill Thompson had the power to ask. He did. He absolutely had the power to ask that. And he had the power to, and what, you know what's weird? Let me ask you this. Isn't it weird almost? I mean, imagine if it was one of us. What do you think I would have done if this was my opportunity? I mean, first of all, let's just say death wasn't on. Death was on the table, so I would have wanted to go to trial and go for the death penalty. But what would I have done if I go, you know what, a deal's a better thing here? Oh my God, there's no way in hell that I wouldn't just be like, listen, we are not going to make a deal unless Bryan, right here, tells us exactly what happened and why he did this, and also point out where he put the K-bar knife. And if they don't want to do that, then you have to ask yourself why, because it's all about saving his life. He's admitting to doing it, so why can't he then go forward and tell us what he did? How does that affect anything? On his, see, that's the thing. That means he's got a nefarious reason that he thinks someday the laws might change and he'll have an opportunity to get out. I don't understand, but why wouldn't Thompson be sitting there going, God, he's willing to take a plea. This is my chance. We can finally get to know what happened here. Okay, we can get the information for the families. That's at least something we can get them. Okay, let's do this. Okay, Bryan, he doesn't do that. Are you kidding me? He just sat around and went, yeah, oh yeah, we can just cut a deal. Yay, he did it. He said he did it. Yay. I mean, that's garbage. All right, what do you guys think of that? Think about, what kind of a mind of a prosecutor wouldn't take it as the golden opportunity to get the answer to the case of their entire career, for God's sakes. So that's why I think he did do this. All right. I don't think he made it. He just said he went through the same case that we've always gone through. So, for example, if you're somebody new watching my channel today, when Bill Thompson went through his allocution, or whatever you call it, and you had been watching my channel this whole time, you would have been like, it was funny. I mean, everybody in the chat was saying, damn, Gray said this exact same thing 100 times. I mean, I literally point for point, I've gone through and have given the exact same stuff, other than a couple little elements that we, he sort of gave us the ordering inside the house. We didn't specifically know some of that, but everything else. But I just think that there's a chance that when Thompson said, maybe we can find that again. Let me see. Hold on. I can find it really quick too. Ah, crap. Close all project. Shoot. All right. I think it was on this one. I think it's this one. Yeah, mine was a little bit more detailed. I'm just saying the same factual elements in order. I would say a lot more stuff, like where the Elantra was. I was better at it than he was. He said it wrong. Oh, it came in and it turned around. It was leaving and then he turned around. No, that's not really how it went, Bill. You got it wrong, Bill. Oh, by the way, guess what? A news article came out today comparing Elliot Rogers to Kohberger. And you say people don't watch my channel, huh? Yeah, these... Oh, yeah, what we're going to look at, the Bill Thompson... This is it. I see it right here. The next day, right after we brought it up last night, this other channel, like a network, put an article out and use the same videos and everything. These guys, they have no shame. All right, I'm going to go all the way to the end here. When he stands up for the last time, I've got it all mapped out in my brain. Here we go.
Dissemination order at this time.
Your Honor, I think that given the history of this case, it would be best if that remained in place through sentencing. So we have time to make sure there's the ability to completely answer questions.
See that right there? That's sort of interesting, right? We want to have time to be able. It seemed like he was about to say something else and then switch it, but to completely answer questions. Well, how might one completely answer questions? Well, by interviewing Bryan Kohberger. So that's why that was sort of, to me, could mean that. Let's play that again. All right.
Does that give your team enough time, Sandra? 9 in the morning? All right. Any concerns with that date?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
No, sir.
All right. Any reason why I should not rescind the non-dissemination order at this time?
Your Honor.
Hold on. There we go.
I think that given the history of this case, it would be best if that remained in place through sentencing. So we have time to make sure there's the ability to.
See, what was he going to say there? That we have a complete story. See how he's about to say something like that? Listen. Like, the ability to have a complete story. And then he realized that that might infer.
Best if that remained in place through sentencing. So we have time to make sure there's the ability to completely
like we have a complete, the ability to
answer questions. That would be the state's preference and recommendation.
We'd have no objection for the order to remain in place through sentencing.
All right. I will, at this point, the idea to keep it until...
that probably made a lot of the news people in there angry. But what do you guys think of that? I mean, doesn't that sound a little bit like he could have been sort of referring to a pre-negotiated interview? I'm sure that doesn't make it into your plea agreement. Like when you're signing it, you're pleading to various crimes, and on the side, though, they might have had a deal saying, listen, we'll do this. We'll do it as quickly as possible, but you've got to sit down with us and explain. But I mean, what if the judge said, well, let's do the sentencing right now? Well, then what happens? What if he had said that, or said, we'll do it tomorrow, or, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they knew precisely that. Anyways, so are any of you guys watching when I make my 360-degree videos? Do you guys watch those? Because they get the worst views of anything. I mean, it's just unbelievable. They're really interesting, though. And by the way, if you go out and buy the goggles, they're cardboard goggles. You put your phone in it, and then underneath the video, you click on the goggles. Because once you have a 360-degree video pulled up on your phone, there's a little goggles icon underneath the video, and you click on it, and then it puts it out on both shots like that, right? Then you can wear these goggles where you put it on your head, and it would be, and you get in a swivel chair in the middle of the room. It would be like you're sitting on top of my car, being able to look around. It would be amazing to try that. Christie said, but if Thompson did not write it as a condition of the plea deal, he's not required to allocate that. It would be in the written plea documents. I don't know what you're saying. But if Thompson did not write that as a condition of the plea deal, he is not required. Yeah, you mean Kohberger's not when you say he, right? Who's he? Yeah, who's the he that you're referring to? But if Thompson did not write it as a condition of the plea deal, he is not required to allocate that. I mean, Kohberger? It would be in the written plea documents. Right. So maybe there's some written documents we haven't seen then, or what? All right. What if he got it before the plea and wasn't a condition? Got what? What if he got what? Yeah, well, on the 23rd, there's just all this stuff's going to be flying at us. Unfortunately for me, as I don't have any connections to like law enforcement or, I know Steve, we've talked on the phone a few times. That's about it. But and I don't have any, connections to anybody that might know something. So I guess we'll just have to be reporting on what's other people are reporting. But hopefully I'll get the documents though. And that's what I'm going to be looking to try to get. I want all the surveillance footage, etc. Like for example, people didn't watch my video today. Let's see where we're at now. Maybe we can just watch it right here. I watched it. Great. Yeah, I know. I know a lot of you guys watch it. I'm talking about. It's crazy how it just doesn't make it. Yeah, so we're only at it's at 4,500 views now, but let's see where we're at total. So it says 4,500 there. That means we're at 5,100, and we're only at 270 an hour. That's absolutely horrible. That means it's just tomorrow it'll be 50, 30, and fade off into oblivion. But, I did get 12 subs, and there's, the engagement's pretty good at 9 minutes and 42 seconds out of 24 minutes, which, it sucks that people just don't want to take the time to watch the whole damn video. Why bother, Anyways, I don't know. You guys can go watch this yourselves. I'm not going to play it. Maybe who works for a big channel is giving me some tips and ideas about your channel. Oh, yeah? Hey, cool. Thanks. We'll check it out. Ugh, my stomach's going off. All right, anyways, I think that's going to do it for me, guys. Kind of tailed off here. Just spinning my wheels. Let's see. Oh, yeah. So thank you to... wait, I can do it over here. This is a better place. Let's see. Starred. All right. So we got Millennial. Good to see you, Gray and Freaks. Then Curly Lock Diva gifted a membership. Then we had Zachary claims a BK car potentially spotted on MPD body cam during the 816 noise complaint response. I don't believe that. I've seen people claiming that though. Curly Lock Diva gifted another one. Then Deidre Gambrel. Shay 530. Do we think they're going to make him say where the murder weapon and the bloody open door? I hope they ask where all that stuff is. Probably bloody clothing is what they meant. Curly Lock Diva, Richard Watts. Then we have Michelle H. Curly Lock Diva, Wave. Then we've got Carol, Domris, something like that. And then Jason Eaton. Every time on StreamYards when somebody sends $1 in like that, I'm like, oh wow, because it's red. Because that's what on YouTube it makes it red, but on StreamYards it turns it into red for that number. I think it's also that for 100 though. I don't know. And then Amber Williams, I want him to have to face Steve. It's funny. Taylor also said she had reviewed all Discovery in almost in a day. When did she say that? I don't remember that. And then Wise Child, Mindy, Lollipop, Then we had Mindy again, and then Mallory Beavers gifted a membership. And then Carmelo Anthony would kill. That's his Jeepers. So I guess that's the kid in the track meet. It's the next big case. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Maybe I'll look that one up, see what that says. And then there's Chickbait Super Sticker, who came on later. She was pretty cool. And then T Moral 3. Then we had Little D, member for 3 months. Thank you. Roger Sellers. And Julie, member for 3 months. Said appreciate all you do. Well, thank you. And then we have Mrs. W. And Roger S. Dixie Hippie gifted one. Then Deidre Gambrel gifted one. Roger Sellers and Timothy Cecil said, please help support the channel. This channel relies on the members to continue giving money to various true crime organizations. That's right. It makes a big difference. I usually try to donate when the channel does well. I do 33% of the gross income. That means before taxes and everything. Let's see. And then Elizabeth Bergman, Amanda. Oh, she said, thank you. Well, thank you. Amanda said, I really enjoy your channel. I wish I could give more. Thank you. Well, that's, whatever, any amount's fine. I just appreciate it. And there's Ted Bundy, you guys. A girl I dated was murdered by her childhood classmate who lived down the street from her on Christmas Day. He then hung himself before trial. Oh, jeez. That's a big uplifter there. I can certainly appreciate the hard work involved in the earlier video. Yeah, it took like 6 hours. Keep up the great work, Matt Hill said. When you're a conspiracy theorist, you can say whatever you want, and it takes very little time. Because there's nothing you have to prove. You just start blabbing and making stuff up, and people go, ooh, yeah. So Roger Sellers gifted a membership. And then we had Matt Hill, keep up the great work. Oh, no, I think I did that one. Then Roger Sellers gifted one. And then John Dunn. And then John Dunn gifted 5. Then John Dunn said, Gray made me a star right here on GHI. LOL. Love his presentation, though. Then Beach Life from New Zealand. And Winston gifted 5. They called in too. That was a good one. Curly Lock Diva gifted 1. Then we had Curly Lock Diva gifted another one. Then we had Curly Lock Diva. Then John Dunn gifted 5. Maybe that's the one right there. That's the one I missed. Then Deidre Gambrel. Then John Dunn. Then We Say Howdy Here. And then I gifted 5 myself. Then Curly Lock Diva, Cassandra, Pink Diamond, Christy, and what the heck? Where did this one come from? I didn't even see that one. There's Carm143. Well, thanks, Carm143. Was that while I was doing this? And then Christy, a member for 30 months. Did that just happen while I was talking here? How come that doesn't show up on there? Did you guys see that? Oh, there it is right there. That's funny. Did that actually, the great John Dunn, the legendary John Dunn. Hey, Karma 143, you got to call in next time. And I think what it was you had your YouTube was open. Oh, you shouldn't have been embarrassed, Karm 143. It was no big deal at all. I was just trying to, I forgot to mention that part. I figured that out on one of the shows, and then tonight we were reminded by somebody. But yeah, if you have your cell phone, if you have YouTube open, you hear the audio from that and the audio in your ears from our conversation, which then would be a delay. No, that was weird. That was weird how that happened. I think because I turned off the Streamlabs thing, so I didn't hear it. Yeah, that was cool. That was weird. I was just. Did you hear that though? Carm 143. We'll do another call in soon, maybe tomorrow, and see if you because we didn't even continue on. I wanted to keep work through the whole thing, the whole case. So we didn't get to go from A to Z. We barely got to, just when, how did he find out or become aware of Madison Mogen and them? That was it. All right, but if you guys could please, when I make videos, after you watch them, and every day I have something, either it's my live stream or a video. But when you watch the videos, if you could just share them on some Facebook page that you go to, or somewhere where a lot of people would see it, that might help me out. I don't know. It just seems so random, YouTube. Like how I don't know how to make it so that every one of my videos gets a certain amount of views. I'm trying ChatGPT, see if that works out. But anyways, thank you all for being here tonight. Did you guys think it was interesting, or get the one grave? Hey, thanks, Christy. I think I misunderstood you. We figured it out though later. Yeah, the deal was good, but it's not a good deal overall if he didn't get Kohberger. I mean, I'm gonna be pissed off. I don't know about you guys, but man, that's unforgivable, really. No, but you gotta call in again. I don't know if she took off. Did you take off, Karma? Well, you didn't really freeze up. You had the echo thing. It doesn't work. I've tried that myself. It's horrible. You can't hear a thing. It's like, yeah. Yeah, that has nothing. It's not your fault. You didn't even do anything bad. It wasn't even embarrassing or anything. As a matter of fact, the next caller, everybody had the same problem, but you just gotta. I'll remember it next time to tell people, make sure to turn off your YouTube video. Right? Okay. Anyways, I will see you guys tomorrow then. I'm going to put out the 360-degree video of the route that I think he may have taken that morning. Oh, and there's the coffees too. I always say it during the show, but then I forget. Okay, hold on. Then we've got Gavin. Okay, so that means this is Ted Bundy. Gavin Newsom. Give me 3 coffees. And then Mallory and Lisa Valenzuela. And Ted Bundy did 3 of them. But they always call themselves different names. Yeah, I try to say thank you to the coffees earlier in the show, because it's hard to get back over there. That's what it was. What's that mean? That's what it was. I can only join for a few minutes while I'm babysitting. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, everybody. And good to see you. Good to see you, John Dunn. And everybody else. I appreciate you being here and watching the show. All right. Well, anyways, I thought I had a good time. It was a little bit discouraging at the beginning, but got better later. So at least we made a goal today. That was good. Just want to say thank you for all the videos you do. You always make my day. Hey, cool. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I do these videos that are, a lot of people just are like, man, okay, man, that nailed it. And it's weird how a video of that caliber doesn't make it out to everybody. Strange almost. And sorry, Pink Diamond, earlier I just didn't I mean, I've seen you here before, but I didn't really understand what you were, so focused on that. I've had trolls do that, but I know in your case that's not what you were doing. Yeah. Yeah, coffee takes less out percentage-wise. I don't necessarily prefer anything. It's whatever is more convenient for everybody else. All right. All right. Well, thanks for being here, you guys. But make sure to watch the 360-degree video, and just know that anytime during the video, you can stop the video. And by the way, when you're watching a 360-degree video on your phone, this is what you do. You go like this. You can go like this, and it looks around. It's crazy. You go like that. You keep it right in front of your face, and you can look all around. And you can go like this if you turn your head, and as long as it sticks with you, it has to be perpendicular to your face. You got it? Awesome. Now on your computer, you just use the mouse and roll around, etc. No, don't get frustrated, Carm 143. We got it all figured out. Next time will be a breeze, right? So, anyways, thanks again, I keep saying that. I sound like Alan McMahon. All right. Anyways, thanks for being here, everybody. We'll see you guys later. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. And a 1 and a 2 and a 3. That's not where I was looking for. It's the do that too. Hit the subscribe button.
Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing.
I'm not going to crime. I've been to CrimeCon twice.
And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a...
Where is CrimeCon?
Crime dissector.
When is it?
Plug rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. I'm gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Gray is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, anyway. And I'm always gonna be a puppet.
What is it?
Fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector. With all respect, ya. Just remember, I've a temple fucking check ya. I have no agenda. I'm a pretender. And I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? Talk to you later.
When is CrimeCon Denver? I wouldn't mind going back to another one of those. Oh, no, I'm not doing that. Yeah. That's just coming right up. Nope. That's too bad. Maybe we'll have a CrimeCon Oregon. I can't, you have to, CrimeCon, I'd have a booth. I don't go to CrimeCon to go walk around and look at stuff, I've been there twice, had a booth both times. I went to the New Orleans one and Las Vegas. That's one I went with me and Chasing Truth. That was kind of fun. Right. But anyways, thanks everybody. See you later. Be safe out there.